And the deeper it goes, the darker it gets. But in the darkness of this universe, stars shine the brightest. Ladies and gentlemen, only the most victorious team will touch that holy grail. So it's about time to open the gates of hell to find who prevails as the king. It is going to be the Surge Pro League Emea Season 1. It's going to be Me Scared Yet, and alongside me we have Warren up and ready to kick things off for the first best of three. But before that, Warren, the year is going to start and on a pretty fiery note. So how excited are you?
I don't even think that the word excitement gives justice to how energized and fired up I am for this whole full year of a lot of stuff happening, and this is just the start. But what a start it is, because I think everyone already had it in their head, but with your lovely introduction, actually with your epic introduction, I think everyone really has the tone nailed down. They really know which notes will be playing.
I mean, I am just super excited about every single team, right? But I kind of wanted to start things off on a note where, tell me, Warren, what happens when the greatest conqueror in history takes on the strongest emperor of the day?
I mean, is that a lesson in history? Because I was always bad at that. But, well, I can tell you that a big battle will come from that for sure. Because no one is going to give it for free. On one side, you have the perfect attacker. On the other, you have the perfect defender. So who's gonna really prevail? Is the same story with I believe it was Gilgamesh, or it was, we tried to move him out, right?
That's you're picking up on the right stuff, man. Picking up on the right stuff.
I feel like today is going to be a lot about the mountains. But honestly, I don't even know who would the Gilgamesh be. I feel like today we just have the mountains standing in front of each other, trying to stare in each one's faces. Who's gonna fall apart? Yeah, that's the big question.
Yes, it's Emea versus Gilgamesh, man. It is going to be extremely slay, taking on none other than Boars Gaming. So now you understand those references, right? The strongest conqueror in history, that is extremely slay, who've been known to be one of the biggest champions in Europe, will take on the greatest emperor right now in the present. That will be Boars Gaming. But that is not it, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the brackets full of demons here. Falcons as well up in the same one. We also have a Team Spirit, Aurora, Furt. Quite a lot of these teams which you might not want to miss out on that action for, right? Because let's be honest, my man, the Axe Okami, Verso Time, even these are the teams that we've seen play so many times in the previous, you could say, past. We have been following multiple areas of Mlbb action as well, and we know that it is going to be one of the toughest battles that Europe will face this year.
Oh, absolutely. It's right in the beginning of the year. Well, not perfectly the beginning, but it's the early time of the year. And it's like they say, you start with the hardest thing, because if our European team, either Extreme Slay or Boa, of course, we will know after their clash that comes soon enough. But if one of them will prevail against those Titans, man, that would be a great day to be European, man. I mean,
True.
I would definitely be proud, but that's still a song of the future, because before all that, before they will be able to go through the gates and fight the demons, they still need to fight themselves. As you mentioned, it's Extreme Slay against Boars Gaming. Both of those teams we know very much about, but there is one unfortunate thing on one of their sides, right? But I think we can keep it. We can keep it for a little bit longer, because we will not unveil it just now, but one of the teams will have it today a little bit harder, or maybe in some eyes even a little bit more hard, actually. Because well, a little bit more on that later. But I want to talk about Boars Gaming, because they were a truly roller coaster ride for me. because I
So,
have grew to like them like a lot of people did in last year when they were the machine. They were extremely flawless. Like the precision was there, the like
mhm.
everything. I just wanted to make a list, but the list started to get too long, so I'm just gonna cut it short. They were just mechanical.
Yeah. I absolutely
But
agree, right? Because that has been the big thing out here, Warren. And I know that we've got to get ready for the things. We've got to be super excited with how things are going to start off in the Surge Pro League. A lot of things that we really need to talk about. But this season one is absolutely going to be epic. We're super ready for all the excitement, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not going to waste any more time and we'll throw it down for the beginning of the Surge Pro League season one.
Now that's how you dominate. Now Team Spirit comes back into form. He in constant nuisance. He finds an angle to find a finishing touch. It's a 5v4 now. Ye jumps in with Alice. Oh, through the ruin there in the back. Oh, Pogu makes the play.
How can you not get fired up after watching that, ladies and gentlemen? Because this Surge Pro League is going to be epic. We've got 4 different regions right now playing against each other. First one's going to be Turkey. You've got the Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and we've also got MENA. A lot of teams with a ton of experience, but quadruple the fun, Warren.
exactly, quadruple the fun. The viewers, they just want to see big names fighting it out, and this is probably the biggest names that you could have wished for.
Yes.
They all ring a bell. You know all about them. If you are just watching this stream and you just realized how big this whole thing is, man, I envy you honestly, because the first moment when the team started unveiling and I got privy to the information about the first team, then the second team, man, it's unforgettable moment, honestly. If someone would ask me, I can delete some of your memories and you can live it back, those would be one of them. Those would be definitely one of them.
True.
And oh man, we are here at the dawn of a new age, you could even say, because all this can mean so much. It already means so much, but now it's in the hands of the players.
Yes.
The European players, they can prove or they can falter. But yes, as we said it multiple times before, they have to fight between each other. And Volscared,
Yes.
I sneak peeked something a little bit. Do we talk about it now? Do we talk about it later? How are you feeling?
I think so. We'll keep that one for a little bit longer, right? We need to keep the people attracted to the stream so that they hit those likes, they hit those subscribes, they also hit those follow buttons on Instagrams. And obviously, people, you do not want to miss out on the action of the Surge Pro League. And if you want to be a part of this extravaganza, make sure you join the Discord as well, because all the updates are dropped on Discord and Instagram. Do not miss out on any of that stuff. Now, coming back to the same point that you mentioned, Warren, it's about time. It's time for us to begin the Holy Grail War. It's time for all these teams to bring out their noble phantasms and show us what they've got. Because, as you rightfully mentioned, one of the biggest stages for Europe, they can either rise to the top or they could eventually falter. But since we've been already on this topic for a while now, let's have a look at today's schedule and see the games that we'll have as Extremely Slay will kick things off against Boars Gaming.
And then we'll follow through with Aurora Gaming against Foot Esports. And 19, that will be your standard European time, I think CT. So yeah, check your clocks. But honestly, if you just stick to the stream, you will not miss any second of this great fun that's ahead of us. A great competition, I should rather say, because it will be competitive. Team Spirit will finish things off against Versatime, but they are definitely not least, even though they are last. We will be ending with a pretty explosive matchup as well.
I mean, it's Western Europe versus Western Europe. We have got Turkey versus Turkey, and then the Eastern Europe taking on the Eastern Europe team. So it's all action packed out. The only thing that we're missing out today is going to be MENA versus MENA. But here's the thing, people. If you receive all of the action on the day one, then you'll not really have a lot of fun things left on the day two, right? And then the day three, which will also feature the grand final. So you don't want to miss out on all of that fun. So we've perfectly divided the entire schedule in such a manner that you'll be feasted with treats every single day. And all of that is going to be available on Surge Europe. So don't miss out on that fun. And a huge shout out to them for making this entire thing possible. Now let's talk about that first matchup which you're super excited about, Warren. We remember Extremely Slay. We remember the 2024 runs. We know how this team used to play. And guess what? It's about time for them to reclaim the throne that was taken away while they were out, maybe conquering other lands. And right now, the person who sits on that throne is definitely Boars Gaming.
Yes, and they are sitting pretty confidently, at least lately. For some time, at least in the beginning of the year, they were kind of shaking in their boots. There were some teams that were giving them tougher battles, but I guess it was just Boars Gaming getting prepared for the real competitors and kind of trying out new stuff, maybe. Well, on the note of new stuff, how is the new patch treating you, Scare?
Don't talk about it, man, because Marcel has been super annoying, and I really wish to see Boars Gaming also revolve their draft around Marcel, right? Because once you start to utilize that absolute broken of a hero pick, that's when you'll slowly and steadily understand some of the counters, which will straight away impact in your entire draft. But since we're already on that topic, we know how strong Boars Gaming are. We always wanted to see how this team is going to pan out against the rest of the world. That's where we have now got that opportunity that the winner of this game will eventually have a chance to take on the fight against the winner of Turkey. So the strongest in Europe taking on the strongest in Turkey. It's going to be fun to witness. And that's where we've got a slight bit of a hurdle in the name of Extremely Slay, where this entire roster, and we have seen all these boys, Warren, in the past, it's been brought back up with a few changes, with a few updates, and they look stronger than ever.
They did. It looked like they had renewed vigor. Maybe the holidays fit them well. Lighto came back. The other members came back as well. They were not having the traditional holidays where you just sit on the beach, drink some margarita and something. No, they were pumping iron on the beaches, actually. That's how their form looked. But yeah, amidst all this and all this quality gameplay that they were delivering, there is a shard of glass that's kind of ripping the whole package apart, isn't it, Skir?
It always has been like that, man. You know, those shards of glass stopping you from moving all the way up front. But now, since we're already on those topics, right? You talked and touched about Lighto being back. We've always known about the duo of Kingstar and Wicked. And here's the thing, we did see them all the way back in the qualifiers, wherein they won their game 2-0 to eventually move up forward. The performance was pretty solid. But we've always had this debate going around where who would be the best gold laner in Europe? Will it be Pelmetronio once he faces off against Wicked? So that has been the topic of discussion for most of the time. But I think so it's about time that we change the narrative slightly, right? Maybe we should discuss a little bit more about how well Laito will face against Bob Rusek. Because let's be honest, with how the EXP lane meta has been going around, I would say Laito might have an advantage in terms of the pool.
Maybe he always was a little bit a bigger fan of some of the tankier picks that you see a lot of. Whereas Bober was always this hammer that was being thrown at his opponents. Though there is one thing that's definitely fitting him well, and that is that Favos, he is quite back. He is so back. I mean, I'm feeling like I just started casting because this right now, it's probably like 1 year ago. But before I yap over that, let's talk how it all works, right, Scared?
Yes, I mean, it's about time that we actually discuss the entire Surge tournament layout, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a look at the entire explainer video about how things are going to pan out.
Surge Europe is taking over. This season, we're hosting 4 massive tournaments with an €18,000 total prize pool, including 2 direct tickets to the Esports World Cup in Saudi Arabia. We are also hosting community tournaments every 2 weeks for our players out there. Whether you're fighting for your country, your region, or a global ticket, here is what's coming up. We kick off things with Surge Pro League, aka SPL, where the goal is to give European teams opportunity to face tougher enemies outside Europe, and also other regions to face each other. 4 regions fighting for €3,000, clash between Europe, MENA, EECA, and Turkey, starting on 23rd March with 2 European qualifiers. We will invite 2 teams from each region, but European ones have to fight for their slot with winners of European qualifiers. On April 3rd, the playoffs ignite with 4 high-stakes BO3 quarterfinals. The intensity rises on April 4th for the semifinals, where the winners move into 2 grueling BO5 series to secure their place on the big stage. It all culminates on April 5th with the 3rd place match in a BO5 format, followed by the massive BO7 Grand Final to crown the ultimate regional champion. Everything will be live on our YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok from March 29th. Links for registration are in bio. So, what are you still waiting for? We are going straight out of Europe, and you can be part of it. Next up is SNL, the Surge Nations League. This league is all about building the grassroots scene in every European country. 8 countries from all across Europe, Spain, Portugal, Romania, Italy, Germany, Greece, Ukraine, and France, will battle through dedicated national qualifiers to decide who rules their home turf. There is a €3,000 prize pool on the line, and the action kicks off with national qualifiers running until April 5th to find the best representative for each territory. On April 17th, the 8 national winners meet face-to-face in a BO3 quarter-final. The winners move to the BO5 semifinals on April 18th. The grand final happens on April 19th with a massive BO7 to decide who rules Europe. Next we have MEC, Mobile Legends European Championship Season 2. Europe finally has a wild card slot for EWC, and MEC is your first ticket to $3 million. Everything starts with 2 single elimination open qualifiers from April 10th to 12th and April 24th to 26th. Only the top 6 teams will survive the grind to advance to the next stage. May 9th to 17th, the qualifiers join 2 invited teams for the regular season. It's a BO3 group stage round robin, where every win matters for your final playoff seeding. The stakes peak from May 28th to 30th. We move into a double elimination format, meaning you have to lose twice to be out. These matches are BO5, and this is where the finalists are decided. Finally, on May 31st, it's the grand final, a massive best-of-7 marathon to crown the champion of Europe. The winner takes the biggest slice of the 10,000 euros prize pool and the legendary MSC wildcard slot for the EWC. Registration is open now. Link in the bio. And for our female pros, the SVC is your stage. Surge Valkyrie Clash is a direct ticket to the MWI at the Esports World Cup in Saudi Arabia, with 2,000 euros and global glory on the line. Everything kicks off May 1st, with high-stakes single-elimination open qualifiers. On May 25th, the top 8 teams meet in a BO3 quarterfinal. On May 26th, the pressure rises in the BO5 semifinals, culminating May 27th with a massive BO7 grand final. The winner takes the trophy and the legendary MWI slot at EWC to represent our region on the world stage. Show the world your strength. Registration is open now via the link in our bio. We also host community tournaments every 2 weeks, where you can show off your skills and grab yourself diamonds and skins, even just by participating. Think you have what it takes? The road to glory starts now. Head over to Battlefy to secure your spot in the qualifiers, and make sure to catch all the action live on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. See you on the battlefield.
Time for us to move onto that battlefield, because this has never ever happened in the entirety of Europe, Warren. I can see your smile. Talk to me through the emotions that you were going through while you watched the entire format. Explain us.
Well, first of all, it's absolutely lovely seeing all those formats come to life. I mean, I myself had a strong sensation to just run off from the caster deck and just go grind some ranks, pick up a team, pick up a squad, and at least try to attend.
Yeah.
Because, man, what a time to be an Mlbb player, and especially for a European Mlbb player base, which, let's be absolutely honest, we didn't have that much laugh like ever. It's now, oh my, I cannot get enough of it, and it will be so scared. It will be so scared. So, on note of emotions, I believe I settled it for you. I think I explained much enough. Well, before I go overboard with my emotions, should we focus on what's coming? Or should we talk a little bit more about all the chances that they have? Because there's so much, right? It's not just today.
True.
It's the Valkyrie Clash. It's the every 2 weeks there's a tournament. The diamond giveaways. Then you have the MEC. Oh man, like you all saw it. It took 5 minutes. We had lovely explain video for that. I think you caught all that.
Yes.
And if you are worried that you didn't, just drop a follow, subscribe, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. You will not miss a beat if you stick to that.
All you need to do is join the Discord and follow the Instagram, and also follow the other social media platforms, and you will always be updated about everything that's happening. We talk about the pro teams. We talk about those tier 1 teams, which we've always seen, right? The ones that we will see in the Surge Pro League themselves. They have the opportunity. You talk about the teams who have not made to this stage yet, who are still trying to fight at the grassroots. We have got an opportunity for them with the SNLs. And then MEC Season 2, you mentioned it already. We've got SVL. I mean, every single thing is included in this entire first half of the year, and it's only till May. We still have got a lot more things for the later on. We'll talk about that. We'll touch upon those things. All you need to do is keep on that follow, ladies and gentlemen, because for now, we'll have a look at the roster of the strongest Emperor currently, and it is Boars Gaming. You've got Pelmetronio, 812, Boborusik, Rise, and God Believer.
Man, just as you mentioned, the grassroots, the boars are here. Well, they thought it's a nice snack, so they came. Well, to shake everyone's confusion, don't worry, 812 is, of course, Leave Me, just renamed. Here we can see all their lovely faces. They are setting in. And of course, Rise is Dub. And don't be confused. God Believer, he just regrown his hair. A lot of people might remember him with much less hair on his head. But don't worry, it's still all the same. It's still all the same. God Believer.
When is that gonna happen with you, Warren?
Never, probably. Or maybe,
Hey,
maybe actually, if I attend and I win the 3,000 euro, I can go to Turkey and then I will have a hair like you. But that's still in the stars. What is not in the stars is definitely the roster of their opponents. But before we see it, we should mention the little bit of an unfortunate surprise for all the fans of Extremely Slay. Scared, would you do it justice?
I mean, do you really want to talk about it right away, or do we actually wait for the roster to show up and then we see the people on the cameras? I think so. You know what? We'll keep that news for a little bit longer. And we've been holding it for the past 15-20 minutes, man. Just the next 2 to 3 won't really hurt. But before we talk about Extremely Slay, just want to slightly touch up about how you mentioned 812, previously known as Leave Me, still sticking with the roster. All of them performing pretty good, including Rise, whose again previous name was Dub. When all of these players showed up for the very first time under the roster of Metashift, I still remember in that particular event, it was the open qualifiers. We all doubted them. And then they made their way up to be sitting in that Iron Throne. But the ones who will finally challenge it will be in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome Extremely Slay, because this team has been the strongest challenger in the entire history of Europe.
And we have Hanji, Walkie, Lito, Kingstar, and Malfurion, the crowned and crowned king of mid lane. People keep talking about this guy, and I think they are right on the money. He has been the linchpin of the Volt team. Like, no, I don't wish to throw any shade on any of the members. They are all stacked, but Malfurion, oh man, I'm already envisioning all the gameplay he's gonna deliver. But I glanced over one of the facts that should have been mentioned. I've been teasing it.
Yes.
Scared wasn't letting me tell you right away. It's here. Unfortunately, Wicked is not able to attend today, so he will need to be subbed by one and only Hanji, who will be delivering instead of him on the gold lane. So the aforementioned clash, the aforementioned battle for the title of the best gold laner in Europe will need to wait. It will have to be postponed for a later time. But I believe that Hanji will definitely not give any space to Pelmetronio for free.
I mean, it is Hanji versus Pelmetronio, it is Lito versus Boborosek, Malfurion versus Godly Believer to find the strongest in the mid lane. You've got Kingstar taking on Rise to see who gives better sets to the entire team. And then the jungle battle, 812 up against Walkie. We've always known Walkie to be that one confident guy who's always very vocal about how much he believes in his team. Yes, there's always certain issues that keep on happening, but the strength, the unity that keeps this team together is what needs to be checked up right now, because they have always been so on point, so very good whenever it came down to those coordinations, trusting on each other. And those are basically the key plays that kind of makes that difference, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, from the last year, we can even speak about Walkie with his role swap, right? He role swapped for a bit. He was a gold laner, and honestly, kind of decent at that. I think even stronger boards could be used, because he made it with his squad. I believe, I should be correct with this, but they made it right into the top 3, and only team that had stopped them was the Boars Gaming before the rename. It was Metashift. They beat them down and then they themselves matched up into the grand finals. So
True.
Milwaukee is a man of many talents, and especially if you see a player like this who is able to swap so skillfully and really deliver on his skill expression that he has in the jungle as well in the goal lane. I mean, he is a man of a lot of talents.
I just have to say that it takes a lot to be on this stage, and then being so capable into multiple roles, it increases the way how you understand the game itself. Because normally people are tunnel visioned about what they want to play, how they want to play. But when you are so much mastered in multiple roles, you have got that eagle eye views where you understand what your teammate wants. So you try and adjust and adapt your play to make out the best of your team. It is something along the lines, if you've watched Kuroko no Basket, how Akashi Seijiro makes his team play, while on the other side, you've got Kagami standing up and Kuroko, the one who's supporting him. And all of these people have got defined roles. But it takes Akashi Seijiro to eventually bring out the best in the entire team. And I believe that is kind of what happens in Extremely Slay, which is one of the big reasons why they're here.
I mean, it wouldn't be you scared, would it? If we had a cast of you on the desk without at least one anime reference. I mean, ladies and gents watching, you definitely should pull out a bingo card. I don't know if any was made, but the first thing you have to put on the bingo card is definitely anime reference coming from Scared. That has to be maybe put it even like 3 times on the card, because that's a staple. That's a staple. But Scared, what else is a staple as well of this Search Pro League? Even with this first BO3, I think we all can definitely get behind is that it will be a great Mlbb, and as we mentioned it before, absolute bonker start into the year, because this will be such a high level of Mlbb. Doesn't matter who gets through, doesn't matter who ends up winning it all. That man, if I was in the chat, I would just have notes and I would write it all down.
I agree, man, because before we move towards Surge Nations League, this is the matchup which will define the best in Europe, because the winner moves forward to face up against the winner of Turkey. So, yeah, you can place your bets here, right? Extremely Slay, Boars Gaming, both of them have proven themselves. One in the past, one currently, one of the best rosters that probably Europe has ever seen. It is going to be pretty fun to witness who wins out the best of 3 against them as we move towards the map, people. And it's one of my favorite. It's Expanding Rivers.
Ooh, those rivers will be expanding, and I can already tell you that it's kind of benefiting both of those teams, because on one side we have Boars Gaming, who are trying to attain a lead through their skillful mechanical expression on their players and coordinate it into a team effort to get some lead, get the gold. And Boars Gaming, they are probably the deadliest team when it comes to giving them gold lead. You give them 200 and they double it. They have 400, they double it. And they end up with like 5,000 gold lead in no time. Valentina being banned is a wise choice, coming from Extremely Slay. As we mentioned it before, God Believer, Valentina, they come together like... I wanted to say fire and water, but they don't really come together. So, well, Scared, help me out here.
I mean, no, fire and water, they actually can, right? You know, there's this one animated movie as well about the fire boy and the fire girl and the water boy. Everyone says that they can't be together. Eventually, they end up being, spoilers alert. I apologize for that. Sometimes I slip a few things out. But here's the big thing. Right before we jump into the draft, and I would touch upon the exact same point which you did, these are probably the only 2 teams out here who don't really have a coach. So, again, a pretty big statement out there from Europe, because everything that they've done has been out of their own accord. They've been the ones who are constantly going in for those WOD reviews, trying to get their gameplay much better, learn from their mistakes, and that requires consistency. So it's a big statement for them to be here and not have a coach at the same time. Now, as we have a look at those bans, for both of the sides. Valentina Eve, fair enough. Sora left open, but Kingster prioritizes the Kimmy for extremely slay. I I don't know if I really like that opening pick because you give away the Sora, you give away the Grok. That's quite some starting opening picks.
Well, and don't forget the carry that you are also giving away. And well, just when I mention it, the fabulous purple man is back in action in the hands of Bober. Favos being locked in, don't let it fool you. This is the old splash art, but it's Favos himself, the big powerhouse coming from XP. And the big threat. Doesn't really matter if you go full tank, doesn't really matter if you go a little bit hybrid, doesn't really matter if you... Well, maybe full damage would be the wrong choice, but he has multiple paths to victory, and Bober knows it. And he's probably gonna... Not probably, he is for sure going to utilize it to their advantage. The question is, alright, answering with Lapu Lapu. Not really go in for those 1v1s, but rather go in for those team fights where you try to be more effective than Favos is.
To be honest, I kind of like the second answer for extremely slay. The Lapu Lapu, again, it's kind of like the brick wall for Phobius into the lane, which I totally agree is pretty solid. But I like the Harley pick. Most of the teams don't really go for it, but this is the kind of update which everyone's been talking about with how annoying he gets. And now since Boars Gaming pick up the Zacian as well, I think so it's going to be pretty easy for Harley to try and poke down both Pelmetronio as well as God Believer if they are caught unaware. So with the way how they're going with White now, I think so they'd want to go for the pick-off style. So you'd really want to ban out maybe the Kalia, maybe even something like the Hylos to stop any kind of nonsensical stuns on your face. Kaja, fair answer. Again, the Divine Judgment can instantly lock down Walkie on the Harley.
Kaja has been growing in popularity, so pretty understandable. But now, you mentioned Hylos. Hylos has been already banned, but still, there are two picks that I'm thinking about, because one of them can be as well Khalid, not just Kalia. So you have Khalid potential in the hands of Ryze or Kalia, so you have to decide which one of them you give, or maybe you just don't ban any of them and you respond with the other. I don't know how exactly the matchup goes, but at least you would be able to... Alright, Leomord, yeah, they might be going along my plan.
Yeah, they left both of those open though, but I personally feel that with the way how Bows have drafted, they've got carries, so they can go for the pick-off style if they want. Plus, they've got Zacian as well, so they can try and zone the enemy out with that poke. As they're now locking the Fredrin into the jungle, so a lot of cards being put in the arsenal of God Believer as well as Pelmetronio on the carry. Now, this makes me wonder, are they actually going to look forward to something like a Marcel? They can go for it.
Could be. Maybe that's the reasoning behind leaving the Rome for last. Or maybe it could just be the case that Yusenshin is banned, Leo is banned. So you kind of want to prioritize the jungle. Well, actually, no, that's not it, because Harley is already locked. So you knew. You knew. You are kind of waiting. You are kind of waiting.
I have patience. All right. So here we go. Picking up the Marcel out at the very last second. I think so. Kalia is still pretty fine, but Marcel will annoy the heck out of Kingster during those games. And if Ryze actually goes in with the Purify, yeah, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because then it's going to become tough. Hanji picks up the Granger as well. The draft looks pretty fine, Warren, for both of these sides. But again, this one Marcel pick, man, it has kind of tilted the odds in favor of Boars Gaming, for me at least.
Oh, absolutely. Because if we look at the way he can be played, honestly, he can even look to lock Kalia, he can even look to lock Lapu Lapu, because if Lapu transforms into his bravest fighter and he has the gigantic sword in his hands and he has the extra defense, yes, that's a little bit of a part of his tankiness, but the biggest part is his second spell, and if he's stunned, he can't use it. And if you prepare the projectiles right in front of his face, I mean, no matter his connection, no matter his skill and reflexes, if he's right on the edge, he's not gonna be able to prepare it in time.
That's going to be one of the big things out. Extremely slay with how they've got the kits in their arsenal set up. You will have to stop down that Marcel, ladies and gentlemen. And if in case Rise is able to play this one hero to the utmost perfection, we'll probably see Boars Gaming take the advantage as we all move into the land of dawn for the very first game of the very first match of the Surge Pro League 2026 as we hop into the action.
We are right in the action. Malfurion already doing the typical strat. You charge it up on the purple, so you have a little bit more pushing power, but you kind of give in. You're respecting Zetian. Ooh, you should be respecting Zetian.
Yeah.
I mean, Harley, he can deal with Zetian, but Malfurion, right now, he probably can't.
I have to respect both the pokes coming in, right? First of all, from Malfurion as well, you don't want the passive of the Kami to fill up because then you will have that advantage in the range. Plus, on the other side, God Believer.
No, they are just trying to go for the push. Malfurion, half HP, trying... Yeah, it's immobilized. I don't think anything crazy should happen. Shoes have been completed, so people will be running a little bit quicker over the map. Pamatronio with the warrior boots to have that extra defense against Hanji. It's happening exactly as we would have thought, Scared. Carry is getting pushed in. Granger is the big beast on the lane.
Yeah, as of now, that is the thing. But both of these players are getting those last hits on the minions as well. So, all going on with this fight. And Hanji, yeah, that's the strength of Granger. You mostly end up securing that, but it is the mid which I was looking at as here we go.
Oh, but look at this. Lito immediately before the turtle getting his HP burned like that, and now Kingsta is the next in the thick of it. Can he get out? I'm not quite sure. Ooh, barely getting out. He had to flicker though, and this means Boars Gaming should be able to get this turtle. No, not really, because Lito is already moving in. He is the bravest fighter. He's throwing the boomerangs and going for Bober to let his backline free. He still has the Raging Slash. Kingsta got destroyed, and there's Moth. No, he gets killed because even the traction pole couldn't keep him alive. Bober, he got the deadly magic on him, but I mean, it's Favos, and it's Harley early game. He's not gonna do much.
That's one of the big things, right? You force out the deadly magic early on, and then on the back of it, you just poke down Kingsta so much that you eventually did not have any opportunity in that turtle fight. But for now, let's have a Runestone talent prediction view out here because everyone have decided to go for something, and guess what? It's a full house on Boars Gaming, my man. It's only you and Elise who have decided to go for a 2-1, and everyone thinks it's going to be a 2-0.
I mean, right now, if this pick-off works out, maybe there's some hope. Ooh, Rise. What a nasty move from him. Ultin on top of himself, of course, because Marsa, he's not caught in his own ultimate. Everyone knows that. Man, great escape.
And on the back of that, now you really just are able to deny that first kill to extremely slay. And Walkie needs to get that first pick. It is just like how Hanji on the Granger as well. You kind of need that snowball to kick in, right? You need those early picks, and that might happen. But
well, it happened though. The Spamatronio, he didn't even break a sweat. His Purify is still on him. So did he really? Was he really in? Oh no, but Kingsta, he is in quite a pickle. He is getting CC'd up. CC immune for a bit, but no, he gets destroyed. 812 getting pulled back in, but he has a dash mouth. Can he? No, he can't. Rise with the body block, but maybe body blocking too much. No, he body blocked just enough. Rise keeping himself alive. 2-0-1 on this Marcel.
I mean, this is one of the big things that happened all the way up as well, right? With the first blood that was also powered by Runestone, we saw Boars Gaming have that advantage in the turtle pit, which eventually moved forward into this mid game where they have not dropped a single body. And now on the back of it, they will have the advantage in the second turtle too. Around 1,000 gold lead in their favor. Kingsta
They tried to go for Bulber, but it was all a trap because there is the rest of the squad. Rise, he's getting bursted down. Deadly Magic. Oh, he got him. This ultimate came in through a little bit late, and there's Walk with some burst. Oh, he gets picked up. There is Lighto still with the Raging Slashes, but it's not doing enough damage. There's a pull in from both. Oh, it's just enough. 812 dying, and Bulber trying to sustain. No, his passive couldn't go off. God Believer is the last man standing, and Extremely Slay are extremely slaying. Let me phrase it like that, because look at that, they are back in game.
That is a back and forth matchup now. This is what I was talking about. That instantly Woki can counter down Rise. This should be fine.
Yeah,
they're gonna be
I
fine.
didn't see a reason to even raise my voice, because I felt like, come on, it's not gonna happen. Like 30 seconds after a fight, another one. Where are we?
You may
Wait,
never know.
look at that. Bulber getting blasted on the top lane. Oh, Bulber, he got caught. Lighto trying to keep 812 from Malf. There is God Believer. He's trying to change this, Rice. He was maybe looking for that fishy kill on Malf, but not really going through with it. Voki getting out. Rice with the chase down, trying to go for Malf. He doesn't have the damage. Purify goes through. Stun on Lighto. It's 1-for-1, but the kill goes again in the hands of Rise. If you look at Extremely Slay, their kills are much more impactful because they are on the members where it matters. Whereas Boros Gaming have it on Rise. He has 3 of these kills.
That's one of the big things, right? You do not want those kills to flow into your roamer. But Rise has been doing a pretty fantastic job out on this Marcel till now. But here's the thing. Extremely Slay have kind of figured out how they need to play around with that Marcel. Because Woki is now just simply targeting him. As soon as Rice shows up his face, he's got Deadly Magic on his face. And then you also have the constant support from Malfurion with the basic attacks of Kimmy. So that adds on to the Deadly Magic damage. So eventually he's forced to go all the way back. The only time where Boros Gaming actually won a fight towards that first turtle was when Kingsta was low HP and then Extremely Slay decided to fight. So according to the draft, Extremely Slay have the advantage. But it just falls down to how well they execute those team fights. Kingsta?
Well, Mason, 812, Mason as well. Oh, the town didn't go through. Well, it did, but it didn't hit. Kingsta still fine, and there is Lighto, so it will be a true 5v5. And if you... Oh, it's already started. Malfurion half HP in the beginning of the fight. Kingsta trying to de-escalate, trying to run away. Bulber with the Deadly Magic on his face. He's going for that 1v1 against Walk because he doesn't mind. And in the meantime, Lighto got bursted down. This looks like this turtle will go in the hands of the Boars. But maybe Traction will have something to say about it. There's God Believer of the ult in the flank. Lighto with Raging Slashes into the backline, getting God Believer. There's Rise on the flank. Lighto still alive. Ultimate. It kind of helped because there's Hanji with the blades going for Bulber because they got caught in the ult. 812 maybe a Presos Wrath. Can he smack them right? Does he have it? He's waiting for it. I believe he is waiting for it. No, he is running away.
Yeah, they're going to have to play it safe right now. What a messy team fight, man. But look at the dude on your screens on the left. Lighto, man, who lighted up. He eliminated the path of victory for Extremely Slay in that team fight. I'll come back to that right now as we have a look at the items now. One away from the Trinity of Pelmetronio. Already have the Sky Piercer stacked up now with the Malefic gun. It will help Hanji work out perfectly. Stallium Scythe with the Feather of Heaven. Now finally Walker will start to have that extra bit of true damage, which will hit 812.
812 faking it out. Do not let Scared finish his thoughts.
Yeah, it's just like, what if we start a fight? What if we don't let you talk about that fight? Now, coming back to that topic, man, Lighto moved all the way around that turtle pit and moved in from behind so that he can actually take down God Believer. And then on the back of it, the entire team was just able to mess the fight up.
Trying to go for Hanji. Hanji needs to flicker out of harm's way. He is out, but is the rest out? Yeah, they are fine. Rice burned his flicker 30 seconds before a lord, and now Lighto, he is hunting the boars. The hunting season is on. Lighto, he's going for that backline, trying to eliminate the deadly threats from the opposing team. 812 got killed, and Lighto, he bought enough time, but there is Bulber trying to change the tide. Rice gets obliterated, and in the meantime, it's just Pelmetronio. 1v3. And he is dead just like this. Wipeout from Extremely Slow.
Hold on, man. What if all the predictions are going to be thrown down in the drain? Because in this clash of the strongest emperor versus the greatest conqueror, for now, the conquerors are literally stealing over the land of Boars Gaming. It's, as you said, hunting season with all the tier 2s now taken down. Everyone on the side of Boars is going to be caged up. They can't move out of their inhibitors so freely. And now this is where I feel the Granger pick worked out perfectly for Extremely Slay. Because every time Rise goes in for the time stop, you know that Hanji, if he's not caught in it, he will land those Death Sonatas and Rhapsody. He will stack them up. And you're seeing Walkie do the same thing with the poker trick. So it's going to hit you like a truck on your face. And I think that is one of the most problematic parts of Boards Gaming, which they realize now in this game.
Oh, absolutely. There's also another problem. On top of that, your opponents have Lord, but there's also another problem, and that is Boards Gaming, they kind of want to play the fight slow. But if you look at Extremely Slay, the only player that really wishes to play the fight slow is Malfurion. And honestly, looking at his build, he doesn't even mind to play it a little bit faster. There's the kidnap going on Bober. Bober half HP. Rice trying to fix his mistakes. There's Bober still alive. 812. Kingstar Lighto. The Raging Slash outwards to defend himself. Rice stunning him up. Kingstar, he could be dying. Bober with a jump in and a flicker out of harm's way.
Perfect jiggle of the damage coming in by Boars Gaming, and with that, they get that advantage. But I don't think so. The inhibit mid will stand strong. Walkie?
God Believer got pulled in and he got caught in the traction pull. He dies. Walk got that pick of Bober. 1v3, trying to buy some time. You might look at it mindlessly, but he bought maybe enough of time. Rice with the 3-man knock-up. I mean, CC immobilized going through. So the base is still standing. 25 seconds on Bober and 20 seconds on God Believer. Can they respawn in time? Maybe they will not. Rice with the 3-man stun. That is Primatronio trying to defend the base. Molf trying to siege it a little bit further. They are going for the top side base. Revis Fighter trying to keep them away with the Mars Ult and Golden Hour. No, Rice flickering out. 812. Rice has been killed. Mega kill for Angie. Landshaker misses. Traction pull 2. But there's the rest of the squad. Though God Believer is back in action, I think you will run away. But the siege has been quite successful. No, you're not running away. Actually, you're looking to finish. Kalia with a kidnap trying to go for 812, and it's successful. He couldn't use his Appraiser's Breath, or if he did, he didn't do enough damage. Overusik is there smacking them around, bonking all the way to the backline, but he went a little bit too deep. Bober has been killed. Palmatonio too, and it's just God Believer trying to defend the base. Can he do it? There is Rise. He will try to help this man. They will try to defend the base. There's the damage coming through from God Believer. No! It's not enough indeed, because Extremely Slay, we're hunting boars this day.
It's hunting season right now, as you mentioned. The first step for conquering the latest emperors is taken in the right direction, as it's Extremely Slay to put a hamper in the win streak of Boars Gaming right now. Now, the strongest in Europe has been shaken to the core right now, as they're just one game away from being eliminated. And I don't think so anyone would have thought about this entire storyline, that Extremely Slay, after coming back from a year of inactivity, that certain people hopping back up together will show up such a big time where they will shake the strongest of Europe down to the core. And if anything, the pressure is on Boars Gaming now, because this previous game was so well drafted and even better executed by their side.
It was. Matter of fact, it absolutely was. Malfurion 2-1-14. He was the assist king, but it's a Kimi without Skypiercer. That's the typical stuff. If you see Juxin without Skypiercer, similar thing would tend to happen. Gold per minute, Hanji, Carry, Walkie, this deadly magic. Oh man.
Wow.
Damage taken Lighto, he was the beefcake, and Malfurion with the assist, as we mentioned before. But let me get back to the topic of the draft, because you mentioned it, and honestly, I feel like both of the drafts were playable. But the problem was that both of the drafts were playing to the strengths of the teams. And if you look at the composition of Extreme Slay, they knew they are not going to be a match for Boros Gaming if they play the typical, precise, macro-oriented game. They knew they need to start fights, they knew they need to make chaos, and in the chaos, they will thrive. That's exactly what happened. Whereas Boros Gaming, they tried to scale, but there was nowhere to scale to.
That was one of the big things, right? He wanted to find enough time for Pelmetronio to get those Trinities, but that did not really happen. And I think so it kind of ended up being that one Phobius pick, right? I do understand that he is pretty strong in the hands of Boborusik, and normally you'd actually get a lot of value out of that. But it just came down to the scenario where 812 on the Fredrin was just not able to be super tanky. As again, Malfurion was having a fun time kiting around him, so he did not really care about Fredrin being on his face. He just kept on moving back. Laito found those angles with the bravest fighters, and he was constantly forcing God Believer to go back or maybe away from the team fights. And if he tried to stay there, he was taken down. So when you got two people who are kiting like that into your backline, then the Phobius is eventually isolated on the other end, which with a little bit of a poke and work from the rest of the people, he can be bursted down too, as he's the only one standing there. Yes, as much as Rise's Marcel pick was good, but Harley is kind of a straightforward counter for Marcel, and then you also had to pair it up with a Granger who will utilize the Golden Hour. Yeah, let's just say that as good as that pick could have been, if not for that Harley and Granger, it kind of ended up biting them in the back.
I would even say that even with the pick, it wasn't played as precisely as could have been. Because if you are remembering correctly, the team fights, some of them were played well, where the front line was moving with Pelmetronio and they were enabling do damage. But a lot of the times where they lost the fights, and especially the times where they lost the fights, and especially the last fight, Bober was straight up in the backline, which would be fine if he was either ahead or if he was a little bit more carry-built Favos. But the only thing he did is that he separated himself from his own backline, and he didn't have enough damage. He was in no position to go for that backline alone. If he was there to support 812 and they both could hold hands and protect Pelmetronio, that could have been fruitful. But like this, if they are not working in tandem, well, this is the story of the game.
And I also think, just to add on top of this, I think sort of it was kind of that extra flicker in the hands of God Believer on the Zetian. Now, I understand normally if Kingsta is the killer, he'd not be able to target the Zetian because of the passive that is always up. But if it's not, which it was not the case for most of the time, because it was, let's just say, Malfurion kiting around so close to him that it was broken off, or maybe it was just Kingsta diving in, Laito hopping up on his face. It was always broken down, which eventually gave path to Kingsta to land in the Tsunami Slam. So now to avoid that, God Believer has to play a bit more passive. He has to be a little bit further back in that entire fight, which ended up creating that isolation path of 812 being left alone, Boborusik being left alone. And let's be honest, in terms of that poke, if Malfurion can position himself well, then that is the best way to play the Kimi, which was the case for most of those times. And ladies and gentlemen, with this, we already have Boros Gaming one step behind. So yes, you can see their faces. It's not going to be the happiest ones that you see right now, but this is the one where smiles are there. You can look at Laito, man. He's not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that your layout that you created for yourself wasn't the best, because when I looked at Extremely Slay, no one was really smiling, but then I looked in the right bottom corner and I was like, well, you have like, actually Malfurion might be too, but his webcam is just so low quality that we don't even know. Well, now
that's fine.
Doesn't matter their emotions, they need to lock in, because you can be smiling after the first game, but who is smiling after the second game? That will tell the tale, because right now you might have won, well, you actually did, but the series is not finished yet.
Yes.
Still need to lock in. And yeah, maybe Boros Gaming were read by Extreme Slay in the first game, but that doesn't have to be exactly the same thing for the second draft.
True. That's where we always talk about the adaptations, the adjustments, which most of these teams normally go with, right? And it's going to be pretty fun once we have a look at how things are going to move forward. On the other side of the spectrum, since the side might actually be swapped up, right, and we will have potentially a different map, unless it is again the expanding rivers, we'll see a tad bit of playstyle change as well in terms of getting those heroes picked up. If Bose Gaming hop onto the blue side, I think so they're going to respect Ban the Kalia for Kingsta. He has always played it, shown us in multiple scrims as well, how good he normally is with that. So we don't really want to give him his comfort at this point.
Well, if you ban Kalia, is he going for that sneaky Cho that I grew to know him on? I feel like it would be kind of off meta. We don't really see it, but it's Kingsta, man of many talents.
Yeah.
So, man with quick hands, I would add on top of that.
True.
So we might see that. We might see that, but I think rather not. Well, for Boris Gaming, it really depends because, as I mentioned, it wasn't necessarily just the draft itself, it was also the execution. So they have, you could say, two paths in front of them. They could either try to double down, hammer down, lock in the same comp, and be just like, all right, we fixed the mistakes, we played more careful, we don't do these moves, we do these moves instead, and it will work out. Or it could be a whole different story. We could see them on a different side because they are the choosers. So they can either go for the red, they can either go for the blue. Still, it's up in the air. And they might go with a whole different comp. Honestly, 812, he is a player that yes, it was Hayabusa meta indeed, but we saw him perform so well, not just on Hayabusa, but also on Lancelot. And I get that Fredin was good. I liked it from the draft as well. But especially with those players with very good reflexes, with very good mechanics, I always sadden when I see them on a tank duty. I know Fredrin is not your typical tank duty, but he kinda is. He kinda is there.
It's mostly that proper frontlining for helping your backline. Backliners do that damage. The front to back classic composition, which we talk about. The idea was straight up. You keep God Believer in a position along with Pelmetronio where they can freely hit the enemy and they are not the ones being targeted. If anyone hops on their face, you simply have a taunt to try and deal with them. If anything, God Believer has the passive of those ATMs. So you could see the vision, you could see the idea. It came down to that execution, and I have to say, Laito on that Lapu Lapu was just a bit too comfortable. So I do see the reason why he picked it up over in the second pick itself, right? Not even keeping it for the later stages where it might be banned out. He's like, you know what, guys, give me the Lapu Lapu. I'll simply deal with the Fred on the other side. And that is even when the Sora was open. While we have seen Bobo Rusick play Sora, Pelmetronio play Sora, we've also seen Laito play Sora on multiple occasions, right? So I think it is about time where we are potentially going to see all of these prior heroes being prioritized.
It's funny that I remember us two talking how the champ pools of Laito and Bobra are different. And yes, don't get me wrong, Lapu is definitely one of more Laito's champs for sure. But in the gameplay style, he is a little bit more of Bober's hero. So it's funny to think that before the first game, we were like, all right, Bober, he's the all-aggressive guy. He will go right in there. And it was Laito with his Lapu. At the one moment, he was like 3-1-2, something like that, having the full Vorax with Queen's Wings on top of that. He was just a menace.
This is the reason why I also mentioned about him in the first phase itself of the yapping session, right? Where we were in the pre-match segment, we were discussing about individual matchups and how, we've always talked about Pelmetronio, how Hanji will be playing against him, so he's going to have a bit of a pressure. But it all fell down to that EXP matchup. Because it's EXP right now that controls the flow of the game. So the better one sets his team up for success in a better scenario. In the very first fight, we saw Boborusek do it with the Phobius. He was on the faces, eventually forced Laito to hop back so that he has to save Malfurion in that fight, which meant God Believer can freely hit Malfurion from the range since no one is targeting him. And that was the entire reason why the first fight ended up being a Boars Gaming fight. And then on the later stages, when you see every single time you had Kingstar being the face tank, so no one can simply walk up to Malfurion and target him. And then you had Laito jumping in the enemy backline, which is disrupting their formation. That problem caused a lot of ruckus there. But now, with all the bans being done, I believe it's all the same. The Kalia being respected from Boars Gaming. They might pick up the Sora since it's left open.
Yeah, Sora might be, but Harley wasn't banned in the last game. No, they are doubling down on the Favos.
Okay.
And I tell you one thing. At the end of this game, it will either go up to 50% win rate or it will stay at 0, man. And 2 games 0, I know it's not that much, but I mean, the third guy that's picking it will not feel like a good idea, at least in my eyes. Well, of course, it really depends on the team comp. It really depends on how you play it. But yeah, Favos is a powerhouse. Don't get this twisted. It wasn't really Favos' fault that the game went how it went. It was extremely Slay playing exactly how they needed to play against Boars. Aggressive, skill checking, mechanical plays, and not letting them play their slower macro-based approach. They always contested, always had the will to fight back. We are seeing Yisun Shin. He could either go jungle or he could go in the hands of Hanji. Hanji, he was, I believe, swapped. I know just for a little bit, but he was swapped for a bit for a jungle position. So do I see it right that it might go in his hands because he has the experience on Yisun Shin?
I mean, yeah, we have seen Golden Yisun Shins getting a lot of priority as well. You can simply land that charged arrow on the faces, clear the minions, have your own fun time. But I do like this Kaja pick from Rice. Wants to play with Pelmetronio now, getting the pick-off kind of idea for themselves. But I still feel it will be difficult now since Kingstar has blocked in the high loss on the faces. And there should be a Leo mod ban now. You want to prioritize those jungle bans, stick with the Leo mod, maybe take a bit of Fred, per se. They actually take the Farsa. So focusing on the Kimmy counters.
They should. Malfurion is definitely the powerhouse of Extremely Slay. You have to think about that. Zatian, now it will not be available for the Fall of Boars, but they have, and we kind of just glanced over it. I don't believe you even mentioned it, Scared. I know I had the word for the bit when it was picked up, but they have Kaja. They have Kaja with Gary, and that changes quite a lot.
That Divine Judgment stops anyone who wants to hop on your face. Plus, if you want to go aggressive, you can simply pick off Malfurion. You can't even purify that stuff. But again, that Kingstar's lock-in of the high loss, right? Until and unless he's down to half HP, I don't think so Rise will pick him up. I think so he will have to ignore him. And if he tries to do that, there's a boom, Law and Order on your face. Now you've got nowhere to run. You're just caught up in the middle of nowhere. So that could be a bit of a problem right now. I like the draft of Extremely Slay. But what are they going to pick up? Maybe put Walkie onto that Leomord? Or maybe they want to skip it because of Boborusek.
They would definitely have more horsepower than Boars Gaming after that. Oh, it's actually...
it's actually how you picked it up. But it's good. It's equal now.
Oh, it is. Leomord in the hands of Leave Me. Big powerhouse. Kind of, I would say he is a little bit new into the jungle roster, but not really. Like, he is there for some time, but he is new in a sense that he wasn't there for some time, you know? Like, it was just Yisun Shin, Suyo, these heroes, Hayabusa, Lancelot, but now he's in the fold. Gord, though, on the other hand, Scared, talk to me about that. I thought he only exists in my ranked games.
Nah, he's been pretty well known in the community and been picked up quite a lot thanks to all those buffs. I want to see what Hanji locks in. This should be a double fighter. I'm not seeing it in any other sense. You put Baki into the jungle on the Yisun Shen and lock in something like the CC, maybe the Ruby, to try and stop the enemy. It's actually oh my goodness! All right, they are tripling down on the marksmen. Now that is hopeful, ambitious, I'll say.
It is ambitious, as you say. That's a right phrase. But also, if you think about it, Gord usually likes to just fire his laser beam in the midst of the fight, and that's kind of what he loves to do. But if you have so many threats, where Extremely Slay definitely have those, they have 4 threats. Everyone basically except Hylos is a threat potential for God Believer. Well, then the laser beam cannot be as focused. He will need to pick and choose who's he gonna fire it upon.
Yeah, that is true. But to be honest, I kind of do not concur with you on the fact that you said Hylos is not a threat for the god. Oh my god, I'm going to be tucking my tails and running away if I see a half-human, half-horse running on my face like that on the glorious pathway with a revitalize on his face. Nah, man, I'm out of there. I ain't strong enough to deal with all of that. But maybe Boss Gaming are strong enough to deal with Extremely Slay for this game number 2, as it's a do or die for them. They win, they stay. They lose, they go back home. As we land of dawn, we go.
I think you missed a good opportunity for a poem. You could have said they stay and they go away. But it's alright, Scared. You will learn. Well, right now Malfrun is learning to dodge the skill shots, and he's not really good at that, because the first ball, it hit right in his face. Look at the emblems. Scared. Come on, talk to me about it. Something not traditional, something peculiar.
Yeah, it actually is. And that's Pelmetronio going with the Master Assassin onto that carry now. That means he wants to have that extra bit of damage against Hanji on the Claude, who should naturally win that lane.
Oh, but there's the 1v2, Pelmetronio. Nah, he is fine. Let's not... Oh, Pelmetronio. He truly was pushing it.
I mean, considering he was maintaining that range from Waki, just to make sure that he's not able to get a reset on the passive, so it's totally cool. Just at level 4 as well, 30 seconds before the turtle made.
Waki going in, throwing that bolt on God Believer, and he has been dealt with. And the Frostblood, of course, powered by Runestone. Here it is. Here we have it. Frostblood goes to Extremely Slay.
Good shot on that, Warren. Out with Extremely Slay. Yeah, they have the advantage, right? The slight bit of the advantage with the turtle now being up. Boars Gaming seem like having that control, but Bobber Rusik is being pressured again.
Rise. Oh, he's fine. Let's not forget how fast Kaja is. Ooh, now 8-1-2. He got it. And 1v1 on the top side. It was actually Henji needing to use his BMI to get the heck out.
Again, not really hitting that level 4 before Pelmetronio, so slight bit of an advantage for the carry there.
Rise with the kidnap. Suppression on Kingston. He gets flown back right into the tower. And God Believer, he will fix his taste buds with a lovely horse steak.
Just making sure that it takes one horse to delete the other. Out on the other side now, here's the big thing. As much as I feel Extremely Slay are really greedy with this triple marksman composition, if in case it is allowed to snowball in the way that it is being, they will have 3 different sources of damage which Boars Gaming will then have to deal with. And you add on top of that Laito, who will be jumping on your backline every single time. So I don't know how easy it's going to get for you, but I'm pretty sure you might not like it if this game moves anywhere closer to 8 to 9 minute mark and the goal lead is less than 5,000 for Boars.
Oh, there's the initiation. Glorious Pathway, Rise, and Lighto will finish the job. He is there with his big sword, ready to cause a ruckus. But still, boars are in the gold lead. The turtle has been gracious to them.
Absolutely.
Uber?
Boristic?
Nah, he is fine. It's alright.
Oh my
Oh, he
god,
got
that thing's
it.
so very. Yeah,
Hit
8
one,
on
two.
2
He
dead.
got it.
He's got the momentum, right? So that has the better execution line than anything else on the side of Extremely Slay right now. Walking on that Yi Shin, also trying to get that early level up as well. Glowing
Ooh,
one picked up
1v1,
by
very
God
close 1v1
Believer.
on the top side. Henji with the ultimate popping off as well as Pamatronio. Henji, you madman, you went back in. But that means the laser goes flat on Malfrin's face. Kingsta, Bober is leading the charge, and this is how you want to play Favos. You know that your team is behind your back, and you just put the pressure in the faces of the opposition. Rice, he got put back in. Oh, he's fine. He's all right. There's Bober. Rise with the finish. And Malf gets smacked right into the ground. And look at it. Force 3 kills, but 2,000 doubloons to their name.
This is one of the big things. Oh, hold on. Look at mid. Kingsta. He's going to be hopping back to safety. It's absolutely fine. And I must have to say, man, it seems like Boars Gaming and that slight bit of a break have definitely joined the Search Fit Club because they are winning. They are challenging themselves. And for all the people who really like winning by challenging, make sure that you join the Search Fit Club as well because the more you challenge yourself, the more in-game prizes you win. If you want more information, just simply go to Instagram and search Surge Fit Club. You'll find all the specific details there. And Warren, I'm pretty sure you've been hitting that gym as well, so you might win certain end-game rewards with those diamonds, those skins, and a lot of other stuff. It's going to be pretty cool.
I mean, I was especially hitting the gym, the brain wraps in the gym, you know, because I was actually able to win create a hero contest. And do you know how scared? Because I joined the Discord. So folks, definitely join the Discord as well, because there's the news. You will always know Lighto with the 1v1 against Bober, because he doesn't want to let Bober join the Discord. There is 812 with the ultimate chasing them off, and he is not really riding a horse, it's a bike. But Lighto needed to retreat, and Bober is fine. He didn't even need to use his flicker, which of course he didn't have, so he might have been dead. But of course, don't forget to join the Discord, don't forget to follow the Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere you can find us, so you don't miss a beat. Well, let's get back to the game. 6:30 and Boars Gaming with 3,000 goldie. It's like I said, scared. You give them a little bit and they double it. Oh, Henji with the 1v1 against Palmetronio. Palmetronio kinda close, kinda low. Henji actually retreating. Do you think he would? Oh, let's not think. Let's watch. 812 flying around. There's Lighto, but Lighto is not as fat as he was last time. There's Walk getting the turtle, but there's the rest of the fight continuing on. Landshaker in their face. 812 gets picked up by Bober, and Bober is on a chase. Gets Malfurion, and there's Walkie finishing off Rise, but he will die. To God Believer, will he though? No, Bober missing him completely cause Walk. Man, he activated that Ultra Instinct. He dodged so well from the spells of Bober. And God Believer ready to walk in his face. But it worked out. Valentronio with a 1v1 against Lighto, dodging Landshaker, not really Raging Slash. Oh! Will not finish him off though. I mean, Boars? They are hitting their personal bests right now. You were not wrong with the gym. I don't think they even left. I think they play from the gym.
Now, one of the big things is Pelmetronio getting his items. He is almost pretty close to that Trinity as well. So, if he picks it up, then Lighto will have a ton of problems. But now, as we have a look at the items of Walkie as well, he's building up towards that endless battle. And once he completes that, the front line will start to fall. Only the Demon Hunter sword now being worked up by Pelme. So, it's totally fine with him. God Believer went in for the glowing wand. I'm pretty sure he goes in for the Ice Queen wand as well to add that extra bit of slow instead of dealing a ton more damage. And I think so that is only because he can stack the true damage up on his skills. And that's a very smart way to play.
And there is a glorious pathway going for God Believer. 8-1-2 in the thick of it. Kingsta chasing him off. 8-1-2 getting land shakered. Kingsta dies. Mega kill for Bober. And Bober is there to smash. Bober is looking for those bonks. And if you give it to him, you will get bonked in your face. Let's remind everyone, this fight was 4v5. Palmetronio was on the top side.
Exactly my point. I was just about to mention that Pelmetronio did not even join the fight this time. So it was all the way up top. Out on the other side, Hanji picking up the second item now, still one away from the Trinity, so he is falling behind. And that means Pelmetronio and Boars Gaming have taken over this entire game right now. And this is the reason why I was constantly focused a bit too much onto that Leo mod, because you can clearly see, as much as Rise is trying to face tank some of the damage, it is Bobber Rusik with the support of 812. So Bobber can tank while 812 dishes out the damage, and thanks to the brute force breastplate, he will have lesser time being crowd controlled. And Kingsta is being poked to death. And this is just a freaking bird and the EXP laner.
I mean, let's not put shade on the name of Bober, because he is 4 god freaking 0-1. And he has a fleeting time? Man, he's cooking with the build.
He's having his own fun time out, but the bot...
Oh, there is the vote in the face of God Believer, and Kingsta, he had his revenge. He finally was able to catch this little rascal when he did not expect it.
And on the back of it, they will now be able to defend the tier 2s as well. The only big problem is that the map has now turned mostly blue, and Boars Gaming have got that 5,000 or at least 4,000 gold leads, which I was talking about. Still 1k less, to be honest. So I feel Extremely Slave will have that opportunity to bring themselves back in this one, considering this triple marksman is going to scale significantly well the more we go into this game. And it's just the fact that Pelmetronio is going to be the big one, right? And now with the Radiant Armor picked up, Malfurion, if he does not have the Divine Glaive, Bob Rusik is going to have fun time against him.
It's kind of funny to cast a game where there is a carry on one side, and you have to agree with the fact that the opponents are outscaling the carry. But actually they are. Because you rightfully mentioned, they have 3 carry picks. They also have Lighto on top of that, which of course he is not scaling as well as the 3 others. But there is some scaling on his part. Oh, the Chastis completed for Kingsta. So Pelmetronio will be lacking that crucial attack speed when he hits Kingsta. So no more kidnaps of a horseman. Lighto, does he have his Chastis? I'm not quite sure. Do you know, Scared?
I don't think so he's picked it up yet. I think so he will be making it pretty soon. On the other side of the spectrum, now you're going to have to deal with the constant side lane pushes coming in from Walkie as well. Because look at the amount of information that is being provided to him. He instantly got 1 turret down bot and now wants to pressurize the second too. The split push is now going to create that gap in between the players of Boars Gaming, which might give an opening to Extremely Slay. They have hit the 33k gold mark, and I talked about picking up the Divine Glaive. It has been logged in for Malfurion, with Trinity completed for Hanji. They have reached their power spike now.
And they force the bird to flicker out of harm's way. This is a flicker that he cannot furthermore use in the next 2 minutes for some cheeky kidnaps.
Holy smokes.
Hanji, you have to respect the woman with the chakrams. Because if you don't, you will die.
Level 14, man.
Oh, they are bursting it down. It's gone. The Lord is gone so quickly. And this is exactly from the book of Boars Gaming. You give them lead and you don't even know it. It's 8-5. You feel like, guys, it's playable. But no, it's not really. 5,000 for Boars, and they are expanding on it.
This is the snowball which we always talk about. And man, this God has been doing a fantastic job. God Believer's positioning is pretty awesome. The constant poke is annoying the hell out of Kingsta. Lighto is also not able to face tank that easily. And you saw the damage of Pelmetronio. All I'm going to say is that you got to be pretty lucky to try and deal with that. Now, Walkie, he wants to actually take the fight against 812.
I'm not quite sure if he can. This was a work of madness. Why did he take this 1v1? He cannot beat Leo in a straight up mano a mano. And now his team is lacking this crucial member. It's 4v5 base defense, and you could say 4v6 because they have Lord. Lord is marching onto the top side, 20,000 on this Lord. He's still quite healthy. They will probably be able to take the mid lane tower as well, 18,000. Light will try to go for it. Malfurion is trying to tickle the Lord a bit. Henji, yeah, Lord will die, but I think the aura will be lost on the mid lane. Yeah, actually, the minute is not really there, but there is a fight there. Bober, Landshaker on 4, Lighto. This was pixel perfect, but no one was there to follow. There's Walkie. Maybe he bought enough time for his team to defend. There's the bolt on 2. Antonio gets obliterated, and he dies. Henji, though, gets finished by double killing Bober. Would try to at least take Walkie on top of that. But Bober, come on, that would be too much. You wouldn't leave any kills to the rest of the team. But gorgeous team fights on both sides. But maybe, oh, the ball! Suppression, flicker from Rise, and Walk. Will he die? There's the Leo. Leo finishes the job and gets a tower on top of it as well. The base is open. The gates are open.
But the respect also being shown by Boars Gaming. They understand that even though they have the advantage, they cannot really underestimate Malfurion onto that Kimmy. Constant guiding that's been coming around, it has been pretty good by Extremely Slay. But here's the thing, man. Coming back onto the same point again, that one fight which Walkie went through with in the bottom lane against 812, it kind of ended up being such a disaster for Extremely Slay, where they've lost those 2 inhibitors now. The mid is standing, yes, but Force Gaming are looking so much more calm and composed. Yes, you've got the triple marksman, you have got that damage. But at the same time, you don't really have that good of a front line. Kingsta is there on the high loss. But in the entire scenario, when the Lord was pushing up top, as well as the bottom lane was being pushed up, you could see Kingsta inside his inhibitor. And the only reason why he cannot move far up is because of the presence of Rise. The moment Kingsta steps one tile ahead, Rise will just Divine Judgment him. Pelmetronio will burst him down because he already has got the Malefic Gun as well on top of the Trinity. And then that's it. Kingsta would not be able to allow... He wouldn't be even allowed to cast the Glorious Pathway.
The Lord has been started up. Base is defended by Malf. But he needs to move in with his team. Lord has been reset. Rise flying around. Flicker will be up for Bober. Flicker will be up for Rise. 14 seconds. Gold Rose Meteor for Pelma. Malefic Roar for 812. He will be able to shred even the tankiest members of Extreme Slay. You mentioned it before. They don't have the front line. Each of them needs to be the front line. But the problem is, Bober is so AoE that he can take on 3 members of Extremely Slay. Oh, Lighto. He needed to use his bravest fighter out of there. And that bought just enough time for 812 to finish the Lord.
God Believer and his zoning, man, that is so insane. It is literally just on the back of that zoning where Kingsta was forced back, so Lighto was the only one left up in front, which eventually he was also pushed back by God Believer's Mystic Gush. Man just straight up Kamehameha him out of that bush. And if God is doing that to you, you know how much control Boars Gaming have. Lightning Transient picked up. Rise has changed the boots to a concealed one. So now Extremely Slay will have to be careful.
And he has his flicker. The base has no more towers. Winter Crown being picked up for 2 members of Extreme Slay, and the Lord is here. He's ready to rumble. This could be possibly the last fight of this game. Oh, unforgettable. There's the Winter Crown responding to Rise, who tried to kidnap. There is the thick of fight. Lighto with the backline engaged. Winter Crown keeping him alive. Angie doing a lot of damage, but he is getting chased off by 812. 812 actually dying. He has been shut down by Walkie. Double kill for Pelmetronio. Triple for the Boars Gaming. It's just Angie and Walkie. I don't think they can defend against this onslaught. They still have 2 immortalities they will try to do, but it's not enough. It's not enough to try. Then Boars Gaming are coming for your base, Crystal, with an 8 8,000 godly. Man, I lost my words. But can you fault me for that?
Nope. Definitely cannot, because with the way how this team made that comeback, you can never count out Boars Gaming. Yes, you have got the greatest conquerors up here, but we've also got the strongest emperors holding their ground down. The first wave was extremely slay, and the second wave has been answered back by Boars Gaming. Man, all of this action now, we'll be getting ready for that third game itself. Before I really talk about it, I have to give the huge shout out to Surge Europe as well for making this all possible. And people, if you also want to join and be the part of this action and maybe see your team play up here, you want to showcase your skills up here, just make sure to like, subscribe, follow on all the platforms, especially Instagram and Discord, which you will find the links of in the description. As we now find the way how to keep on praising Boba Rusik onto this Phobius, where we both thought, or at least I personally thought, it might not be the best pick right away as the first one. But he made it work.
He made it work. And that's the thing. Honestly, why was I doubting? Why was you doubting him? Why was any of the viewers doubting Bober and the rest of Boars? Because if they double down on something, it really needs to be something that works out in the end, and there you had it. We were saying that Extremely Slay can scale back up, that they have crazy late game. Look at it, 18 minutes. Wouldn't you call that a late game yourself? Because I probably would, so I have to go back at my words. Even in late game, even tested against almost full builds all across the board, Boars still had it in the back. Their teamfight execution was just much better.
Was super good at that point, and one of the big reasons was because they had that extra bit of front line. You normally did not really see that happen for either Laito or Kingster, just because of the constant poke of God Believer on that God. That one pocket pick changed the entire dynamic with which how this game was being played. So you simply saw that, right? Kingster could not walk close to him. He had to respect that. He had to respect the Mystic Field. You can't really simply walk up. That is the problem with the higher loss. I thought maybe it could be a good pick if the Glorious Pathway was dropped in at the right time, but the Kaja carry, God mix, that was just too much for them to handle.
It was, and we both knew that they have kind of an unorthodox team comp. Usually when you go for Yesun Shin, you are locking him in the gold or in the jungle, and then you are locking in the rest of the team except the mid lane a little bit tankier, so your team comp is not as squishy. Actually, if the opponents were a little bit less ranged, it could have been fine, but Gord, I mean, if he is not the person with the highest range on mid lane, he is definitely top 3. Because the laser, oh, it goes for miles. The ball goes for miles. I don't know about the zone, how long range that has, but at least the ball, the laser, I mean, it can snipe you from 3 flickers away.
That's one of the fact they said 3 flickers away, because you did see one of them being used up by Laito, and then he went in for the Bravest Fighters as well. With the dash of the Bravest Fighter, that's like 2 flicker lengths. I like how you phrase that out, but yeah, I agree. Here's the big thing. This is the reason why I was thinking of at least that double fighter composition, right? Maybe adding the CC in the hands of Hanji. You have the damage in the form of Yisun Shin and Malfurion. Malfurion kites, Yisun Shin moves up with the team, goes up close and personal. But then you also need to have something that can actually create a problem for either God Believer or Pelmetronium. Kingster wasn't really the guy. He was being knocked down constantly. Laito wasn't able to create that gap alone, considering he had too many targets to deal with. So the only thing that is left is that you eventually get one more fighter locked into this exact same composition, and the entire dynamic shifts. Or maybe just simply put up the Yisun Shin into the hands of Hanji and go something else in the jungle. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't even have minded out either the Hayabusa or the Joy.
I see where you're coming from. You still have the threat, but at the same time you are a melee hero, so they kind of need to focus not in the range department, but they need to focus in front of them. so they cannot
Yeah.
really pick you out as well. I see. That could have worked out. But on another note, if we think about the worst fight that went the most bad for Extreme Slay, it was the last fight. And yes,
Yeah.
their opponents were the richest. They had the most gold lead they had throughout the whole game. But all things considered, 55k in the hands of Extreme Slay, they had their items anyway. But the biggest problem was that right at the base where there was the wall, all of them, and I cannot highlight this enough, all of them walked in a straight line, everyone together. And it made it so easy for Gore to just blast every member of Extreme Slay with zero accuracy. He just pointed, and that was it.
Point to shoot. That's all they needed to do. So yeah, I agree. It was kind of tough to work with. Wasn't really the best in that entire scenario, the positioning specifically when it came down to that. So it ended up being that one tough situation where Extremely Slay themselves put them into, right? Not having enough front line always causes you certain problems. You miss out on fully dishing out that damage. You miss out on certain opportunities. And for all the audience who are watching it, if you do not want to miss out on the opportunities of hopping up in the SLL, let's just say, and if you're some divas looking forward to take your fights in the Surge Valkyrie League, make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you follow us on the Instagram so that you don't miss out on those chances. It's in the description. Warren is directing you there. Just look in the description of this video. If you're watching on Twitch as well, make sure that you hit the follow button. So again, all of that action is going to be brought right onto your screens, right? All you need to do is just open it up, watch it, enjoy the gameplay, enjoy what Warren is bringing on the table with the casts and his words. We'll have Zakota as well pretty soon, though. Another spoiler alert, though I don't know who wants to hear him. But once we move over, you will have a lot more opportunities to get those wins in the giveaways, a lot of stuff happening. You can join the Fit Club, you can get yourself back in shape, and also you can win some in-game rewards, right? What's better when you can do what you love while also getting the reward for that, especially in the game that you love?
I mean, the only natural extra step is if you got paid for it. And we can also help you out with that, because if you attend the tournaments, you never know. You never know. Maybe
You win.
next year we are casting and you are playing. Who knows? Maybe it's just you. Right here, you, yes, in the chat.
God. That finger instantly showed up on my face. So like, hold on a second, wait, what? Oh, all right.
Maybe
all
it's
right.
you scared. Maybe it's still in the cards.
230 ping? Yeah, no, thank you. I don't want to be embarrassed by everyone.
Well, back to the topic of the clash that we have here. Extremely Slay, Boars Gaming, both of those teams, they secured their own respective pins. But I have to say that Extremely Slay had their victory much more dominant. Because, yes, it's understandable because how the teams play, that if Extremely Slay is being able to win, it will probably look as it looked. And if Boars Gaming will win, it looks as it looked. Right? But I just feel like Extremely Slay were more dominant in their manner of battle that they dished out.
True. I agree. They were the ones who had full control of what they wanted to do, and the snowball just kept on continuing. There wasn't really a chance where we actually saw Extremely Slay move back up. Boars Gaming on the other side were the ones who constantly went in for that snowball, uncontested, untouched. Every single fight that they were taking, it was calculated. There was a reason behind that fight. There was an intention behind that fight. And with the scoreline being 1-1 right now, let's just say all the people who said 2-0s are going to have it in their faces, but the 2-1 prediction for Boars Gaming still stands. But I really would love if everyone's prediction was thrown out the window. If Extremely Slay are the one to close this entire thing out. Yeah, if I'm not winning, I don't want others to win. Just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you just want to sync us with you, because it's just me and Alice who are still holding onto our hopes and hoping that we will have it right. Of course, this second game, it's kind of saying that we might be right, but it all comes down to the draft, and it all comes
True.
down to a little bit of that randomness, because we still don't know which map we will be playing on. So maybe the map can kind of throw you off a little bit. We know that Broken Walls, Grok is kind of powerful. You have these little interactions, but honestly, on this topic, Scared, I don't know how you feel about it, but some of the maps, I don't know if it's the meta, but some of the maps feel kind of unnoticeable. I don't know how about you, but some of the maps, they don't really feel as strong.
If you're talking about flying clouds, I agree.
Yeah, I didn't want to point fingers, but yeah, let's talk flying cloud.
That's how it is, man. Because with the broken walls, you've got those walls broken down, you can easily maneuver around the map. It helps you rotate fast as well. Like, simple thing. You don't need to go around that turtle pit. You can simply walk through with it, right? So it kind of helps you out in that. Movement speed is fast. You can gank a lot more in those tier 2s. With the dangerous class, you've got a lot more chances with those gangs. But guess what, Warren? You've been talking about that broken walls. You've been meaning to see it. And the Lord of the Games have actually heard you.
I have the script. What can I say? It's
Who
the
wins?
courtesy of Search Europe, who, of course... No, I'm kidding. Come on, guys. Don't worry. No one has the script. It's not scripted. This is not wrestling. Looking at that one guy who knows who I
Wow.
meant. And let's follow. Let's follow the rest of the draft. Broken Walls. Let's see where we will end up having. Oh, all right. Extremists like choosing that blue side. So what this is telling us is that the teams prefer the blue side. And actually, it makes
True.
sense. When Extremist Slave was on the blue, they won. When Boars Gaming were on the blue, they won as well. Well, if statistic continues, it's Extremist Slaves. And I will be wrong.
Here's the thing, Boars Gaming always go against those statistics. So you may never know. They might be the ones to actually take this one home as well, side by side, as we have a look at the bans. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like button and also click on that subscribe button as well, because Surge Pro League Emea Season 1 is up, live, ready, going, as we are just one game away from finding out who the best in Europe is. But it's not just about Western Europe. We also have the Eastern Europe. So we've got the Turkey, we've got MENA region, a lot of action, which is going to commence. And the next one that we've got is going to be Turkey versus Turkey. So it's Aurora that will be taking on a foot Eastwood. So that action is also going to be spiced up. So you see, the stakes are going to get higher with every passing minute. Right now, it's extremely slay. Boars Gaming, last game, winner takes it all. Then you've got Aurora versus Foot. Then we also have more action, hopping up, broing up. It's going to be very, very exciting. And I finally like the Sora ban. I really wish to see it. We'll finally see it.
Well, what I also see is that Boars Gaming are kind of switching up their draft, because Valentina ban, it didn't really come from them before. They were kind of holding on to that option for themselves, but now it's coming from their camp. Harley being banned as well, so no more Harley for Walkie. They respect this man, but this means that Malfurion will have his Eve.
Marcel is open. Gary banned out, respected. That means the Claude is picked up on the other side. And Bover goes in back to his Phobias as well. So 50% win rate, which you were talking about. Now it's either going to be 33 or it's all going to go 66. I like the Hilda pick. You have a straight up priority, broken walls. Either ways, it's going to help you. And on the other side, Hilda is a straight counter to Marcel. So I really like with Kingstar prioritizing the Hilda, because it was banned out in the second banning phase previously.
Great adaptation. Right now, Kimi locked in for God Believer. Honestly, didn't they kind of switch their heroes? Because I'm
They did.
used to Malfurion all the time on Kimi, whereas God Believer, he kind of, yes, he's the Valentina guy, but also he is the Yves guy. So now they stole each other's picks. Let's see how well
Yeah.
they can play it reversed. Lapu being gone from the fault, Laito will not have his fun. He has shown that he likes to respond with Lapu against Vevos, so why make it easy for him? Laito, you need to come up with something new.
I for now, I want Extremely Slay to ban out the Leo mod. I like the respect being shown to Walkie there, banning it with a joy, thinking that the Ascension still could be flexed into that goal lane, and there's the Leo mod ban, so absolutely loved it. Now what you pick up again is the Fovea, especially when you've got the Kimmy on the other side. You've also got the Claude. Talia locked in, kind of a pick off. Man, go for a Yujong. Yujong could work out so very well for you.
It can. It could.
If not, then who else? You can put Hilda in EXP and go for a Grok, maybe?
I mean, call me crazy, but he could go for glue and make the life of Kimmy and
True.
make the life
True.
of Kimmy and Claude so bad.
I agree. Glow has the priority in the lane. You can also go CC, who will poke the heck out of Bob Rosic in the lane.
Yeah. You have two options. All right,
Harit
Harit.
for the
Yeah.
gold means Walkie Jungle with the Ascension.
Oh, I thought about this guy, but I wasn't quite sure about it. But yeah, when you lock in Harit, you need that beefy front line, and who else to pair up with Hilda in the front than Uranus?
I don't know, man. Where is the crowd control? Where is that one skill which keeps everyone locked in place in the real world manipulation? Yes, you have the Zaman Force to add that extra bit of slow, but now Hanji will be forced onto the Purifier thanks to Rai, so things will get potentially easy for 812 to hop on him, for God will be able to poke him down, for Pelme to jump on with the BMI and the Blazing Duet. There is not a single soul who can stop him in his ultimate. I think Boars Gaming will again have that advantage.
You go in with the Wild Hawks again. I have to say that Extremely Slay from the draft look like they are in a trap of their own making once again.
Yeah.
Even from the webcams, they look kind of unhappy, but I think I'm pulling a lag a little bit. I think I'm reaching too far. Everyone is locked in, of course. It's the match point. And it's not just your typical match point, because a lot of times you have the option to come back to the loser's bracket, but this is do or die, a scared set. And this is the third game, which will end up... Oh, this is pretty deadly. Rice almost getting bursted down, as well as God Believer. Malf. Oh, there's 812 trying to change the tide. He is... Oh, God Believer, he got killed, but 812 with a trade-off. It's a 1-for-1. But there is one crucial difference. Malfurion, he was there for the minion wave.
And with that runestone, with the first blood powered by runestone, you know that the aggression was also going to move forward there. And instantly, Boars Gaming answering back to the aggression of Extremely Slay with Bobber Rusick on a slither of HP. But he will get the minions, which eventually Laito will miss. And that's not what you want on the Uranus.
If you look over at the emblems, we see that Hanji is going for that sneaky 5% discount on his items, so he's able to hit the power spike a little bit quicker. Laito, of course, going for that extra tankiness through the main emblem with that extra sustain.
Here's the thing. Few hundred gold lead right now for Boars Gaming. We have seen this one snowball. And with God Believer in mid on Kimmy, hold on.
812, he doesn't have the shadows, but he uses the Yugi shadow kill, almost killing, but himself dying. Walking with the finisher. There is Laito, but it's just a Uranus. Not even with the consecration, but Walkie, almost level 5.
And that's one of the big things. Walkie on the Ascension, farming up as quickly as possible now. But Furion doesn't really have the RWM. Had to share the minions up.
RWM being dropped just as you mentioned it. Bober trying to heal, and he actually succeeded in that. Did he buy enough time? I'm not quite sure. 5000 HP on the turtle. Lito still has the consecration. 812 getting it for free. And there is Rise. 812 actually jumping in, getting Kingston down. And he is out. He is out of here. And there's a kidnap. God Believer will maybe. No, he doesn't get Lito. Walkie almost dead himself. Force Gaming, not actually with Elite, but even Steven.
So one of the big things happening here, because that was a constant back and forth, man. It seems like these two teams are ready, but guys, are you ready for now? From April 17th, we will have Surge Nations League. All the participating nations are there on your screens. It will begin from April 17th, so do not miss out on that action. Make sure you hit that follow button and also join the Discord server for being updated about everything that's going to be happening there. Now, coming back onto this one, Warren, but there's the thing, that constant back and forth fight that has been going on. It has been mostly a bait set up for 812 on the Hayabusa, but they're just not tanky enough right now to sustain through all of that. But I do like the idea. Kingstar has the damage. Going in for the Fury Hammer, he is constantly being a nuisance on the faces of Boars Gaming.
Right, so he will get picked up himself. He tried to tsunami slam his way out of here, but he has been killed.
And Furion now is trying to zone him out in 812. He's going to figure it out. Kingstar is going to check every single one of those bushes. Lito, having his own fun time against Bobo Rusek, is out-rotating him in the lane. And it's thanks to the mechanic of Uranus. Now, as much as I did not like it... Hold on.
There's a Immobilize on Kingstar, but he's quite tanky. Yurigi Shadowko just for the poke. 812 getting stunned. He needs to retreat now. He burned this crucial cooldown just on the rover. Now Rise, he's trying to do something, make some space. The Immobilize RWM. Oh no! They were locked in the same spot. God Believer almost got killed as well. Ooh, this wasn't the best fight from Boars Game. Ooh, Mouth! Pick off. Double kill for him.
He committed the flicker for that. And in this mid lane battle, I think so we can see who's the one who's having the advantage.
812 had enough of Kingstar's ruckus. He said, alright, you will die, lady. But, well, it's Kingstar and Hilda. He's not gonna die. Rise, maybe too deep. Rise, that was a little bit overzealous. No, he will pull in. Actually, they get a pick off. Kingstar dies, and 812 with 3 kills. There's only one hope for Boars Gaming, and his name is 812. Oh, God Believer, my man, what were you doing here? And Lito will finish this off. Or Walkie.
Yeah,
oh, can he execute?
He's gonna die to the turret.
Can... Ooh, nice job. Nice work from Walkie, realizing that he cannot reach if he doesn't use the boat. So he threw it, and he got it.
The boat thrown by the goat. Sad to say.
I understand it. I am definitely on the hype train of Walkie. He's been phenomenal. Even in the last game where they lost, he still played very well. And he was playing decently enough. But the last game was just hard. But now Extremists are again on the train. And their train is leading to victory, it looks like. For now, RWM. Oh, actually, Immobilize on 2. There is Claude. No, Claude gets shut down. Kingstar will live. He will live. Oh, this is all taken apart in front of the eyes of Boars Gaming. 812. He could go for Lito, but it's a tank. He would not even kill him, probably.
And this is again Lito just having his own fun time because he's not that behind in terms of the levels, and they steal away the purple buff as well. Oh, this could very well be one of the biggest upsets here in the Surge Pro League, day number 1, match number 1. Heck, if anyone thought about this happening. They're gonna go in for the turtle as well, and 812 has got no way of trying to steal that away. They can actually get a pick off down bottom though.
Can they really? I'm not sure. Lighto will use his consecration. He's quite tanky. I don't think they can kill, and I don't think they should burn their cooldowns on this man. They should focus on the others. There's God Believer in the flank trying to deal with some damage, but no, he gets destroyed. Wonky with gigantic damage of his own, chasing away Rise, and there is Bober in the backline again trying to change the tide. Shut down for him. Walkie, Bober with the flicker out. He has the passive. He will knock them both up. He has the ult. Oh, he will go for Walkie. He's doing so much damage. There's Pametronio flying around with his ult. Blazing Duet trying to make some space. There's like the consecration chase. Pametronio Bober. He will try to sacrifice himself to buy some time for the rest of the squad. Walkie with a mega kill on his belt.
Nonsensical sustain from Bober Rusek on the Phobius. That was an absurdly long team fight, but eventually Extremely Slave winning out in that one. The engage was by Boars Gaming, but not on the right target.
God Believer believes in himself a little bit too much, don't you think, for devs? And honestly, most of them through being out of position. I know it's kind of hard. I will cut him that because 5,000 gold difference in 8 minutes. It's hard. But God Believer, you need to respect your opponents.
Just a bit underestimating Extremely Slay at this point. That is the only thing. Radiant Armor picked up as well. So maybe the damage from Malfurin is going to hurt a little bit less. But Kingston on the other side as well doing the exact same thing. So already got the Radiant Armor with the Blade of Heptases. He is literally destroying 812 Pelmetronio and even God Believer. They cannot face this Hilda. And that is the problem.
812 is the sole hope of Boars Gaming. Skypiercer completed for mid lane. God Believer will try to get some kills, but I'm not even sure. Like, yeah, what else you get for Kimi? Probably that was your only option. But it's just looking bleak.
I agree. Couldn't be any more tough. They're going in for the Lord Dance as well. And look at them just bullying their way out. God Believer has to reposition.
Actually, this fight could be decent. 812 with the flank, but can he get the Yugi Shadow on the right targets? Doesn't matter. There's Bober. He's leading the charge. 812 has been dealt with. Bober with the chase off. Can he get Walkie? If he can. Oh! No, he cannot. Blazing Duet will try to shred at least the front line. Pantrone with one pick off. He gets out. BMI keeping him alive, but for how long? Not for long enough. God Believer is the sole man trying to defend his base, actually. Can they go for the finish?
Nah, I don't think so. They're going to respect that in 10 seconds. 812 will show up. So rather would just want to clear out those waves and push the Lord. That's all. Hansi needs to actually go there. I don't think so. Walkie would be able to take this one solo.
Immobilized? Ooh. It's so unfortunate. Oh, God Believer. God Believer, you are pushing your luck too much, my man. Actually, maybe waiting for 812. 812 with a pick off. Boars Gaming, they still have the tusks to fight back.
And this is the shutdown that they kind of needed. Hanji being taken down there on that Harith will definitely give certain amount of bounty away, but you need Walkie for that bounty,
did
man.
You catch it scared?
Yeah, I did. But I'm going to give you the honor to say that.
Well, of course, we have, for the first time, for the whole Europe, the epic chance that we can present to all Mlbb lovers, Mlbb freaks, and Mlbb players. We have a slot at EWC, and you can try to get that if you will follow our socials and be ready for the right tournament. But right now, Rice is ready to turn the tide. Lord has been killed. Rice is still alive. Golden Aura lost on the top side. Bober with the engage. There's a Blazing Duet combination. Lighto, no, he's not the right target. Legendary for Walkie and Hanji. They are shredding them apart. Bober is there.
Oh my god.
Goodbye time. But for Wu, there's no one left to defend the base. It's just 812. 812 has been killed too. It's just God Believer, and he needs to believe in divine wrath to save his base. And I don't think gods are looking this time on their believers, because Extremely Slay take their win home, and they prove to everyone watching at homes that they are the best European team we have.
one of the big plays being made by this entire roster is the upset that's happening on day one itself of the Surge Pro League. And all the people out there would not want to miss out on action like this, because the champions who we thought have got the crown on their head, the Iron Throne which they were sitting on, has been burned by the Dragon Queen, with extremely slayers garrisoning their way throughout the lands, man. I don't think so there's going to be any other team better than them to claim that title. And I believe the one that we gave them up in the beginning, the greatest conquerors, it stays strong.
The wall broke before the siege fell apart. Walkie, the man, 10-08. I was mentioning Malfurion in the intro of this clash, but it's been Walkie. I mean, Malfurion wasn't playing bad per se. He was decent. He was always there. You see most damage dealt for this game specifically, but Walkie, oh man, he really shown it to 812 how to carry his team to victory, because as I mentioned it before, it's the differences of the play styles where Extremists like just go crazy, go bonkers, they skill check you, they don't let you play the game, and that's how their victory looks. It's 12 minutes of a deadly onslaught, 10,000 gold lead, 21 kills against 8, 10-08 for Walkie.
Everything divided up perfectly for Extremely Slay, even in terms of damage department. Malfurion with 53, Walkie with 49. You talk about damage taken, it was exactly the pick that you mentioned. The Uranus, the one that I was doubting, where I thought maybe it's not going to be the best, maybe it's going to be bursted down. There's a Claude on the other side, there's a Kimmy on the other side. But man, Laito, it's not like Bobber wasn't doing enough in his own lane. It is just the fact that Bobber cannot do anything against a Uranus. There was no dash apart from one, so you don't get your passive bar up so frequently. And all Uranus needs is someone to poke him down. And he's going to be happily standing up against Phobius, who can keep on giving him the HP back more than he's going to lose. And then rotating faster than him in the lanes, that immediately gave a pathway to Walkie to eventually get that extra bit of farm up. Everything was played down to perfection by Extremely Slay.
And I love how we all casters can truly shake hands on the fact that we have 0 predictions right.
Okay, that's there we are. I got it.
Yeah, well, no one won. Only Extremely Slay won and their fans. Because wow, what a game, what a series this was. But that's the thing. Even though this series was kind of crazy and everything, there's still a lot more to come today and the rest of the other days. But well, let's talk a little bit more about this series. Let's talk about the matchup of Bober and Laito. Because we were saying that they have different champ pools, and honestly, this series, it looked like they don't have champ pools. Because Bober, he was just playing Favos every game, it was 3 Favoses, and for Laito, it was 2 Lapus and 1 Uranus. So it looks like they are just OTPs, which they are not, of course, we all know that, but yeah, it's funny to think of that. Of course, it makes sense that they choose what they did choose. It played into the strengths of their team comps, and it resulted in what we got. But yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing a little bit more of some other champs from Bober. But well, that's not the story of the future, because Boars Gaming are out. Make some space for the victors, because Extremely Slay, once again, big props to them for making it how it looked.
True. That's one of the big things, right? And you could clearly see how the entire team played around together. That is one of the biggest part. That you want them to play together as a unit, work to the win conditions, and then let's just say get the results in your favor, which was done by extremely Slay. And it is not like, as you rightfully mentioned, that Boars Gaming don't have a hero pool. That they were not really going with the, let's say, ideas of their own. They had, right? I really liked the Marcel pick early on. It is just that a couple of picks which went on the other side were a bit of more problem, like the Gimme in the hands of Malfurion. It worked up perfectly. One of the big reason for that was simple thing. He was able to work around the Marcel. He was not getting caught a lot by the Golden Hour. That's just because of the mobility. You also had the entire team playing together where Harley in the hands of Waki was just able to find the value against Rise on the Marcel. And at the end of the day, you also had Granger in the hands of Hanji, who could again play around that golden hour of the enemy Marcel. So that was the early one part of the draft which I felt was a little bit off.
Man, I appreciate the fact that you bring up Hanji, because in the beginning, I wanted to mention it. We kept teasing. We didn't mention it straight away. We waited for a bit, and
yeah,
man, we really thought, or I don't know how it was with you, but I really thought that it would slow them down, that it would make them weaker. But that wasn't really the story, Henji.
True.
Man, like, I didn't, for times, I even forgot that Wicked is not there. So that's, of course, big props to Henji.
Fantastically. Stepping up at the big game when things mattered the most. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I believe it's also actually seen Waki play with quite a lot of gold laners in his own team, right? We've seen him play with Wicked, with King, now with Hanji. I kind of want to ask him who his favorite gold laner is, because that's going to be one of the questions which I really worry about. I want to know his opinion on that, because this entire lineup looks pretty stacked up, really solid. I like the ideas that they like to pull with the Harleys. You don't really see a lot of teams adjusting to that. And then it was being respect bad for the next two games, so he went on with the Shin. The game number 2 wasn't really the best. Kind of had it on his face in that last 1v1 against the Leo mod in the bottom lane. But apart from that, he came back stronger in that next game. Did not die a single time, became the MVP of that game, and guess what? My man's been hitting legendary, not just in game, but rather with the entire team in the SPL. So it's been a fantastic work by the entire team.
Oh, it was. And I heard that our interview is getting ready, so you will get your answers soon enough in timely enough fashion, Scared. But before we get to that, we should definitely highlight the Volt team as a complete thing itself. Because, yeah, we saw them during the qualifiers. You had the option, sorry, not the option, but you had the pleasure of casting it yourself with Chronos, so you had it from the first hand. So we knew what we can kind of expect, but still, it's still a surprise for me. I will have to kind of settle in on the fact that Boars are not the team that has prevailed.
So they again just the team defying all the expectations. Then everyone thought Boars were the fan favorites. Every single one predicted that it will be a Boars victory, that Extremely Slay might come close, but Boars will eventually close it out. That's when Extremely Slay were like, yeah, all right. I mean, there's a reason why we won all the way back a couple of years ago, right? There's a reason why we had such a strong lineup, why this name carries a gravity around it. They proved it. Instantly hopping back, showing up big time, and with the way how they played, I will have to say their gameplay was way different than when they played in the qualifiers. So now hopping here, playing in this entire stage where you know that the winner of the best of 3 will move forward, the loser goes back home. When the stakes are so high and you're about to face the strongest in the Europe who have been sitting on that throne for a long time, that's when the truest strength of the Conquerors show up. And we did see all of that. And might as well call it the Conquerors hockey spreading across the entire land of Dawn by the Extremely Slay people. Yes, I know that smile, my man. You know I can't keep the One Piece references out of here.
I mean, they grew old on the throne. They were not stretching enough. We mentioned the fact that they went into the gym and they stayed in the gym, but maybe some stretching, some yoga. maybe would have helped.
True. I mean, and as you rightfully mentioned, we're about to have that interview pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. So in the meantime, if you really are looking at the streams, if you want to win some of those giveaways, if you want to be a part of the Search Pet Club and get some good in-game accessories for yourself, and if you want to flex like Warren, how he just did right now, maybe just a little bit better, you have to hop onto the Discord. You have to follow us on the Instagram so that you're up to date with every single thing that is happening across the Surge community. A lot of giveaways, a lot of events that will happen. We also that in the trailer early on that it is the SPL. We'll also have the Surge Nation Cup. We'll also have the Surge Valkyrie League. A lot of that stuff, right? So you do not want to miss out any of that. And if you also want to participate, make sure you join all of those Discords. Subscribe onto the YouTube, follow on the Facebook as well. Every single place where you can follow Surge, go for it, do it. You have that time while we're getting Voki ready for that interview. I kind of spoiled a little bit for you guys there because here's the thing, man. Every time we have Voki playing, we know that he's the man who actually hops up in front of us. But Warren, what are a few questions that you want to ask from the man?
I mean, should I leak it? Because then
At least one.
you will take it, Scares. You might take my question
All right,
because you like it so
I
much.
promise I won't do it.
Well,
Maybe.
I would definitely like to see into the heads of players. I think that's always one of the most exciting topics that you can talk over in the interview. And just when we mention it, the interview is coming right on. Scared, would you have the pleasure of having the intro? And before that, Walkie, hey, my man, congratulations on that win. And you looked so good. You look so good in the Land of Dawn. And we mentioned it even during the game, but your victories looked much more dominant than your opponents. Where the first game you won, it looked much more secure, much more confident. Your opponents didn't really have anything to play with against you. Did it feel like that even when you were playing, or was it something that only we saw?
Question.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. It felt like your wins were easier than theirs.
Yeah.
It-
Should I explain now why? Or
Yeah, if you felt
that's-
like it too, because that's how it looked. It looked like you win much easier than them.
I mean, the first thing I want to say is I want to appreciate Pago from Aurora because he helped my team a lot, like with a lot of things. And yeah, we had every day practicing, and every one of us giving up like uni or this and this to compete in Mlbb, like to give our best to win the tournament. And right now, yeah, I'm just excited to keep going against Aurora and Team Spirit after.
So right now it looks like Pagu didn't really wish to create a monster that he made because he might be facing you. Of course, depends how well they are able to play against their respective opponents, but he might fight his own monster. Walkie, how do you see actually their chances? How do you think they will be able to win or not win and continue as your opponents?
Yeah, I scrim against both of them, and what I think Aurora is just too strong.
All right.
Would you say that they're the strongest in the entire top 8? Or is that some other team?
Yeah, I think if we win against Aurora, we will beat Team Spirit.
All right.
If that's the case.
All right. I actually kind of like it, Walkie. Talk to me about the Marcel pick, right? You picked up the Harley in that game. So were you guys worried about the Marcel as the last pick, or did you guys have an idea about that to come through? And why is it that we haven't seen Extremely Slay pick that up, considering how good he is?
I mean, like based on my draft, it don't fit into our team, in my opinion, because everyone has like their own play style. You cannot just try out drafts and expect to
True.
do good on it directly. You need time for this.
Sure. All right. Fair. And is it the same idea with the Leo mod? Because whenever it goes down to Leo mod versus Yi Sun-shin, you always tend to prioritize the Yi Sun-shin, even though sometimes Leo mod seem to be the better pick.
Like actually, it's dependent on the draft.
Mhm.
Leo mod, in my opinion, it don't fit in most of the drafts. I don't feel like he's that strong, but maybe I will pick it against Aurora.
All right.
Yeah. I'll be
That's a
looking forward to it,
challenge.
Warren.
I wanted to mention the second game where we were kind of talking about the fact that you didn't really have frontline, but at the same time, we mentioned as probably the biggest issue for your comp the positioning that you had. It was especially visible in the last fight where all of you were in one spot and you got blasted by Gord. Is that something you also went over, or was the reason why you lost something else?
The reason why we lost, because we picked the Cloud. Like we could make a different pick there, and the game would be different, I guess.
Right?
If you had to pick something else up instead of a Claude, what would you normally go? Because we were discussing it could be maybe the CC. I mean, in extreme case, a Ruby, but yeah,
Yeah,
I was kind of
one
leaning
of those.
towards the CC.
One of those.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
My team
All
told
right.
me this, but I was like, okay, fuck it, just go Cloud. And
And you're like, you guys got too greedy in that game. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
Triple marks with no
I
front
also
line.
the reason I went for 1v1 on that Leo mod is just to boost my ego.
Oh, yeah.
Even when it don't work, I just need that ego boost so I can play well. I know it's a mistake, can't happen against Aurora or Team Spirit,
Yeah.
but sometimes you need this in a tournament where you, how to say, you hyped up, you just want to try stuff and do stuff.
I love that you mentioned the fact that you went for that diabolical 1v1 because we were mentioning it on the stream. So I love that you went back to it and explained. Well, Scared, any closing questions from you?
All right. I mean, I believe the next matchup is going to be between the Turkish teams, right? I'll have to have a look here. It's going to be Aurora Gaming versus Fort Esports. Who do you have winning and with what scoreline?
2-0 Aurora. And Team Spirit against Verso 2-1.
Team
Okay.
For
Spirit?
Team Spirit, yes.
All right. Bold predictions there. I think so. I've matched up with Walkie there. But man, again, thank you so much for showing up. There's one more thing I kind of wanted to ask. I missed out on this one. You have played with multiple goal laners in your entire lineup till now, right? You have played with Wicked, you played with Hanji, you played with King. Who do you think is the best till now? And who fits your entire lineup?
The perfect one for our team, to be honest. Because I play also with Kavi before, with King. Person Hangi fits our team the best, I guess, because before it was like something is missing, and I guess we found the key. What's actually missing?
Perfect, man. Because you guys definitely look like you found that missing piece and you showed us a puzzle. You created a picture no one could have imagined. Thank you so much for this, Walkie. Congratulations for the win and good luck for your semifinals game.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to greet all
Go
the
for it.
people who support my team.
Go for it.
And also all the haters. I hope you enjoyed to see us winning. And yeah, I'm proud of my team that we won it. Just go next against Aurora and let's see.
Beautiful, my man. Beautiful. Again, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here, Walkie.
Yeah, I appreciate it. See you guys. Enjoy this
Good luck.
stream.
Holy smokes, man. It's whenever Walkie's here, you know that he will say that one line, right? You know that he'll say, I'm proud of my team and haters have that. What did you think? We can lose? 2-1 win. Boom on your face.
I mean, with the insights that we got from him, it's building much different picture than what I was imagining before, because I thought Wicked was the stronger component in the squad. Actually, is the other way around. Then I also thought that, oh, they had a plan in the second game, but actually they went against the plan low key, and they kind of made it hard for themselves. So looking at it all around, man, I think all our predictions are rightfully out of the window, because we were all so wrong about this
True.
particular matchup. Because, man, wow, just wow.
This is one of the most beautiful ways how we have seen things play out, man, Warren, because so I'll be honest, I never really did expect this to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just say that it is the Search Pro League and it is the League of Surprises. We have got quite a few up in the bag as well. And if you want to find out which of the new tricks we'll bring out for you, make sure you stay along for the short break. As on the other side, we have Aurora Gaming taking on FUT Esports. Well, you know what? I said that we are getting ready with a bag of surprises. The first one we have is going to be Zakota back on the desk with me. And my man, why would you want to miss out on this Turkey derby where we have Aurora Gaming taking on FUT Esports? You saw the previous one, Zakota. Your prediction was thrown out of the window. So how are you feeling now?
I mean, the games were extremely close. In the first one, I thought, man, extremely extremely strong. And in the second one, Boris Gaming looked extremely just dominant, and in the third game, it was just again complete, just extremely stay owning the game left and right. Nothing could have helped. I mean, at the start, Bobber had a little bit, that double kill they got on the Hilda, and I believe it was on the Uranos. That helped him a little bit. But after that, just Walkie owned the game left and right.
True. You clearly saw him taking over the Yisun Shin in that one, right? Now, you're the king of the draft, right? You're the man who actually understands a lot of this stuff. Talk to me about that one triple marksman Claude pick. I mean, Walkie did say that it was over ambitious of them, but if we were to pick something else instead of Claude, what would you have gone with?
Personally, I would have put the Yisun Shin on the gold, and I have picked a different jungler. I mean, the Guinevere was open. I believe the Hayabusa would have been okay. There have been like a couple different choices that were available, but it's still down to preference. I mean, maybe it would have worked if they got a little bit more farm, but you cannot do anything. That carry was completely melting everyone left and right. It was really hard to play against.
They have been pretty solid onto this one out here, though. But now, since we have Aurora Gaming Turkey taking on Foot Esports. Talk to me about that, man. You're the one who's got everything up in his tips. Talk to me about this matchup.
Man, I'm really excited about that game because we're gonna see for the first time Pago, I think, or the second time on the official search stream, and I'm really excited to see him play because I think Waki stated that they helped him a lot with the drafting and with the gameplay and everything, just in general. Pago's extremely smart. Like, he's, I think, the smartest roamer in Europe, even in, like, I would say this part, you know, in ECA, in MENA, in Turkey, in Europe, I think he's the best. Like, there's no one really close to him. Everything, micro, macro, just he's the best. But also, Saiki and Kazuet, they're really good players from the side of FUT Esports. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them play. But TNZ is a veteran. Rosa is also a complete titan. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the game.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, right? The battle between Rosa and Psyche. That is something we've all been looking forward to. Kind of want to see how this one eventually pans out. But as we're already talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, having a look at the roster of Aurora Gaming Turkey, Rosa, Pagu, TNZ, Sigibam, Luna, all of these people have showcased their potential, not just here, but also on a lot of international games. They are the ones who always like to play around in these kinds of areas where this roster, being so experienced, becomes the force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, they've been really solid in the M7. They just almost went to the third place. They're Titans. I mean, what can I say about them? TNZ has an extremely huge hero pool. He can play tanks, fighter, assassins, marksmen, everything. Luna as well is a really solid XP laner. Yeah. But let's check out FUT Esports. We have RX, Kazue, XC, Bloodfest, and Saiki. Again, new names, some of them. Saiki is also a pretty new name on the scene, but Kazue have been on Pago's team in, I believe, MTC Season 4, if I'm not mistaken. But again, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Wait, you can't really face up against them without actually taking a ton of damage onto your faces as well. But when it comes down to those experiences, right, I think so it's a lot more for the side of Aurora, just because of the fact that they also were playing and were a part of the N7 World Championship. Yes, they were at the top 10, we'll have to say, 5th and 6th position. But even apart from that, you talk about some multiple tournaments. They have showcased that podium position, even in the 2025 Mlbb Mid-Season Cup. That's when you kind of saw this roster perform too. Yes, a few things which they eventually gained, like the experience per se. They learned a lot more things. And now they're looking even stronger. And I believe it was one of the teams that a lot of people were actually looking to go on for that Dark Horse run, right? So that is why even Waki has mentioned why Aurora Gaming here is one of the strongest.
I mean, they're surely one of the biggest titans anyone could face in this tournament, but I mean, FUT Esports are nothing to joke about as well. They have extremely huge potential. Psyche, as I said, is a new mage player on the pro scene, but he's been solid for a couple of years now. I mean, just seeing him playing versus him, it's, you know, night and day difference. I mean, yeah, I have to give it. The Rosa is just dominant. You know, the Queen of Thorns. I mean, a completely just also just a strong mage player because she has the hero pool. She can play the Eve extremely well. The Kimi is really great as well in the meta. As well, the Farsa extremely potent on that. I mean, it's gonna be really hard fighting them, especially with Pug on the mid. I think the stronger side is gonna be our gaming side.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things. The challenger right now are going to be the FUT Esports. So the Turkish derby, and the winner will eventually play against Extremely Slay. Waki has clearly stated that it will be Aurora Gaming, and he thinks it is going to be 2-0. Now, talk to me about Pagu and his journey a little bit, my man, right? You know what? We're going to touch upon that very quickly, as first, we're going to talk about Psyche a little bit. You mentioned about that mid lane battle. You talked about Rosa. Now, even Psyche on the other side, he is kind of that one big, you could say, pillar of the team who they all rely on to eventually perform in the game.
Well, in the FUT Esports lineup, I think Kazu is the veteran. People should, like, I would say, look up to him because he, as I said, played with Paco. I believe he went to an M series, if I'm not mistaken. He got number 1 in MTC, so he is really, again, another Peter. But Psyche brings, I would say, a new, fresh wave of emotions, like a fresh breath into the pro play scene in Turkey, especially. I cannot speak about it really much because I don't really follow it outside Aurora and a couple of other friends from there, but they're still extremely strong. I mean, I believe they could take one, or maybe even they could take the series against Aurora, but still, they're a titan. I mean, Aurora is just scary to think about to face.
It is scary to face all of the people, Sigibam, Rosa, TNZ, Lunar, Pagu. Now, we've been talking about that, right? And it's not just from you, but almost from the entirety of the MLBB Europe community. They all look up to Pagu. They all see him as that one milestone, which once you finally achieve, you can call yourself successful in that specific role, at least in that game. So talk to me about his journey a little bit, with the way how he started things off versus now where he is performing even on the M7 stages.
I remember playing against Pago a really long time ago, in 2021, I think, was the first time I played versus him in a tournament. He completely demolished me. Back then, he was flexing his role, he was playing XP. But after that, I couldn't catch up to him. He was just advancing, he was just evolving. All the time I played against him, I was just getting better and better and better. And it's scary to think about it. Because if, just Pago and, for example, Kid have so much potential, think about the rest of Europe. There are so many hidden faces. I mean, we saw Extremist, we saw Boris Gaming. They're the best of the best in Europe, but they could be other best players. That's why Surge is giving a platform to every single person to join. It's free to join always. Make sure you join the socials. Like, share, join the Discord, everything. On Instagram we do giveaways all the time. Scared, that, talked about it. But it's great that Surge is giving a platform to these players.
I mean, that is one of the big reasons why we are now seeing a lot of those upcoming players as well, who have been veterans in the European scene, now take on to the stage where they will be competing internationally against a lot others. And that is going to bring a new wave of experience. It's going to teach a lot more things to the team, which is one of the big reasons why we will eventually witness the growth of European MLBB scene. And it's all going to be thanks to Surge and all of the partners that they are working with. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be hopping onto that first map of the second best of 3. And we will kick things off with the Flying Clouds, Dakota. Not something I love the most, but yeah, this is one of the favorite map of Chronos.
I mean, I would say it's my least favorite as well. I like expanding universe a little bit more, but
same.
The clouds are just so good. If, let's say, you're 20 minutes deep in a game and you die, your marksman dies, he respawns, the Lord is up. It's such an, it's I don't know, it's fulfilling that you can go so fast to the Lord, you can go fast to an objective, you can join the team fight a little bit faster, but let's get into the draft. We're gonna have Apex as coach for Aurora, and that's for the coach of FUT. And also, I believe Midnight is coaching Aurora, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, that's a big thing, right? You're gonna have a lot more experience working around with that coach who has been known for coaching a lot of big teams too on the other side. So that's pretty good. But we're moving in pretty quickly from these ban phases, right? Kalia with the first one, Guinevere along with the Freya. Very different from what we saw in that previous series, considering Gwyn was never really touched. And you instantly mentioned she becomes one of the top tier junglers there. But with the Harley, Sora, Fanny banned out, Valen priority or an Eve?
I believe it's a Valentina. It's such a strong mid laner. She has a ton of potential. She can steal a ton of ultimates. But the Juxi remains open, and Saik is going to take it away. I mean, personally, I think Valentina is better for me, but just in general, I mean, such a strong hero. Juxin can dominate the early game with a good roamer, and we're going to see the Fovios getting picked up. We saw it 3 times in hand of Bobo Rushik. He was a complete menace to society.
Yeah.
But what else?
Talk to me about this Fovius pick, which has been really, you could say, prioritized in the European scene, which we don't normally see in the international part.
Just so strong, Scared. He got a recent buff to his HP gained after a dash Dark Force. Also, his damage against ultra high HP targets. So against the Uranus, he can do pretty well. Last game, it was not that great, but he still was doing damage. He was out there.
Yeah, true.
To counter him, and the Lapu did really well against him. I mean, Laito is an ex-global Lapu as well. You have to keep that in mind. He's really great with him. But I think here, if I was Aurora, I would take possibly the Grok, the Hylos, and what else is Sigib I'm gonna take? Maybe the Yusun Shin? carry. I mean, it's great anti-tank for Fovis as well. You can melt him down pretty fastly as soon as you get that speedy light tools up. But you're gonna have a pretty tough job going against this Zuxin with a Lantern Flare. She's gonna have so much room to play with.
That's one of the big things. Now you need something to jump upon the Jushin, but she has got a lot of kiting available. So all you can do is just try and put her in an uncomfortable spot. Maybe utilize your own mobility. But who can actually do that? That's the big question. Yi Sun-shin logged in, and again, it's a pretty solid flex pick. Can work into the jungle if Aurora actually go for those jungle bans and try to prioritize that. Or he could eventually be flexed into that gold lane as well. So they don't really have to worry about either one of those two things.
I mean, I
On the
think
other
they need to
side-
ban the Leomord scared. I think here, if it needs to ban the Leomord, TNZ is a complete monster with him. And as well, I was thinking maybe it would be a little bit too much tank for Aurora, but Fredern as well might need to go. It's really great into great
I mean,
choice.
Glue could have fit up pretty well against in Fut's lineup, and he could have kind of annoyed Pagu if in case it was put up in the wrong position. So, like that idea.
I mean,
Now with the Lapu Lapu ban, I think so. I agree. They should ban Leo.
the Leomord or Tyrannos, I mean, either of them, because they ban the glue, so they don't have a front line for Pagu, for the Hylos to take him into turret. But the Alice is gonna go as well. Another pretty okay counter to her, but I prefer the Oracles a little bit more. It's gonna be a really difficult game because Aurora lacks a little bit of crowd control, but they have the Valentina, so if they pick a really big roamer, they're gonna give them one more skill to stun with. And Pagu's just gonna be, again, just a walking health bar as well. It's, you know, the Glorious Pathway is gonna heal, Revitalize is gonna heal, a ton of healing potential from that guy over there.
It seems like he's the one who stole all those 12 tons of Kit Kat. But on the other side, the Cho being banned out. All right, fair. Don't really want to get
Valid on the road.
rather the Suyu.
Suyu is okay, but into Fov is gonna be pretty hard. Maybe that Joy is gonna be the choice here, but it's gonna have a little bit too much magical damage. It depends on what Lunar picks. You could go for the Esmeralda for the even Stevens trade. You can steal the shield from Juxin's Lantern Flare as well with the Fovis Dark Forest. You gain some shield. So maybe the Esmeralda they go for. Arlot into Fovis is not that great, especially with Khalid and Yisun Shin.
I'm just
So I think
thinking what they can
Esmeralda.
actually pick to try and catch Psyche.
I think the Esmeralda and the Hayabusa would be the wisest of choices. Maybe even the Suya, as you mentioned, but it's going to be really difficult. Even the Joy could work into a Fovis. You can try to melt them down. But it's going to be the Yu Zhong trying to go for the backline of the Black Dragon from Azoret if Furious Drive and get a Petrified play in here. And the Bakshia, I could have never predicted this.
I, to be honest, really like the box here. But on the side of the Yu Zhong now, that is a bit tough for me. Because yes, the idea is picture perfect, right? You simply go with the Black Dragon form after the initiation of TNZ just to put Psyche away from that team fight. But at the same time, it will be difficult for you to try and finish Psyche off. If anything, you can just try and zone him away. And then it basically becomes the battle of the HPs if your team's frontliner can sustain longer than the enemy team's frontliner. So that potentially is what's gonna put this game into motion out, and it is the flexed up Yi Sun-shin in the goal as the Suyu's been brought in the jungle.
I mean, you never know. Maybe he can play the Suyon with the gold. He's also kind of viable on the gold side, but as you said, Wise is a little bit more popular. But I cannot wait to get the game number 1 of this best of 3 series, Aura versus FUT Esports. Scared. What do you think about the drafts? Who do you think won it?
It is tough, but I think so. Aurora are the ones who eventually have the upper hand in this draft. It's just because of that pretty beefy front line that you have of the Hylos as well as of the Basha. I don't think so the poke is enough to take them down until and unless Psyche makes the Wishing Lantern and the Divine Glaive, which is going to take a lot of time in the game. And we have known Yi Sun-shin not to be really the best in terms of bursting that tanky front line. You have to wait for that in this battle. And in order to do that, you either prioritize it as the very first item, then again, you'll still not have enough damage. Or once you go for the second item, you have to build up the Hunter's Strike pretty fast. So, man, it looks tough to execute that. I feel FUT Esports will have the advantage. Or rather, Aurora Gaming will have the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, FUT Esports doesn't have an actual true full whole marksman. They have Yisun Shin, And it's going to be really difficult because he cannot go for the Demon Hunter sword. I mean, he can build it. It can work, but it's not that great. I mean, maybe Claude or like an attack speed marksman, Moscow, something with a Trinity, with a Demon Hunter sword would have worked a little bit better. But I cannot wait to get in game number 1. I mean, I'm so excited.
We'll just have to wait as everyone gets ready and locked in to move into the land of dawn. For esports, it seems a little bit tough to execute the win conditions, especially with the Suyo, where you know that it's going to be difficult for Suyo to actually burst that backline so easily. You will have to make sure that you are over farmed, and over farming against a Basha, it is tough.
Well, frankly
The
speaking,
invades are going to fry you. And we will eventually see how that happens. But as we all get ready out here, don't worry, people. This is just to as soon as possible. Well, it doesn't sound like a punishment. If anything, it sounds like an opportunity, Sakota.
Yeah, but I heard on Instagram they also have a ton of giveaways. Is that true? As we get into game number 1 of this best of 3 series, Scare, look at that poker rate from
Whoa.
Psyche.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons why we always talk about how Zushin is pretty solid, and Blotsfed as well, hopping onto the faces of ZY, the TNZ. Not really missing out. Talk to me about the emblems, man. Anything fancy?
Well, anything fancy would be the Yisun Shin with a Weapon Master. I usually see him with possible the High and Dry or maybe even the Festival of Blood to give him a little bit more sustain, but it's great so he can do a little bit more damage because against beefy targets. Psyche forced to flicker in the early game, but right now Suyu's gonna try to gank Lunar because whoever gets level 4 on top is gonna be the winner. I mean, Phobius is gonna be extremely dependent on it compared to Yuzhong. Yuzhong has the Fierce Dive. He has that big AoE skill 1. I mean, it's gonna be difficult to fight against him with Phobius so far. But right now, Bloodfeds almost gets read out by TNZ. Oh,
Yeah, he eventually did. Has to figure out to run away, and smart way to use the river buff as well. Did not lose control of there. Eventually will recall, which gives Turtle control to Aurora.
6 seconds, actually 1 second to the Turtle first or last spawn. No first blood yet. But here are the talent predictions powered by Runestone, guys. I'm not there though. Interesting.
It's fine. Too late. Yeah, someone's been having too many biased predictions, so we don't really give them that right now. With the Turtle picked up from TNZ, there is no contest, but there we go. The first blood powered by Runestone down in the bottom lane. You have Sujibam winning it, but guess what? The answer back instantly from the other side, but it still is in favor of Aurora Gaming. Now with the Crimson Beacon used up, you will have to worry about the Black Dragon on your face as Rosa dashes away. Flicker forward out there from the Phobius on the face now, but the punishment is going to be real. The backline still open, the box there, but Pagu picks the kill up, and now Psyche just zoning out, just moving around as Kazooie is ready to join in the action, but stopped in.
From the sense of Food Esports, I believe they lost that early game presence already, but Lunar is going to get a little bit ahead of himself. X still has that advantage with the Phobius. But I can see why they picked the Baksha. His early game anti-heal, I mean, his passive as well with 30 Potions. He just gets so tanky, he reduces the healing of all of these heroes, especially Suya and Phobius. Even as well, the Khalid gets so much less healing from his skill too, but it's going to be difficult. Really, really difficult early game for FET Esports.
Oh my god!
XC
just moving up front, but yes, you have Kazooie hopping in! But the Soul Server is just not enough, and the answer on the bottom side is a bit too good. Still, an EXP laner for a goal laner, you'll take that every single day.
Indeed, and I mean, that kill, when it had the Siggy Boom, he already got the Gorgon side ready to rock and roll. He's going to push that tower plating up a little bit. 4 seconds for the next Turtle objective, 1,000 gold, the lead only. But it's going to be really difficult. So you finally pick up that Understrike, giving that extra poke damage, and we're gonna see us. Oh, Raging Sunstorm! He misses.
Yeah, just to run away.
Defensive.
It's fine. It's fine.
Defensive.
Yeah, 3 from the Trinity, and guess what? Right now, since he is 3 from the Trinity, and guess what? Right now, since he is capitalizing on this advantage, you guys might want to capitalize on the advantage of watching the MAC Season 2 starting from 10th of April, ladies and gentlemen, only on Surge Europe.